Yes, I've decided to class it up again with some stemware. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is a classy outfit, not just a high IQ outfit. It's also a classy outfit. We have stemware at the Coleman compound. Yes. This is not a low-budget operation. Guys, welcome in. Gosh, tonight's going to be hard-hitting. Like I told you last night, the Zoom call that Candace showed, the one with Erika without her extensions in, I saw that, and I was going to react to it last night. I said, no. I need to sleep on it. Like, I don't need to come out at a 10. I don't even need to come out at an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I need to be more, something in the realm of like a 5. I need to react to that in a 5, maybe a 6. And I was just guns blazing. So I thought, no, I'm not even going to mention it. I'm not going to talk about the extensions. I'm not going to talk about the fake affect. I'm not going to talk about any of it. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to let the night pass. I slept in this morning. I slept about an hour or two, maybe even longer than I normally do. And I woke up at an 11. Like, I woke up so heated. I went back and watched it again this morning, and I thought, maybe I can dial it back a little bit by the end of the day. I don't know, guys. I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best to handle it like a professional and to dial it back just a little bit. But we'll see. I cannot guarantee anything. I cannot promise anything. And I got some other stuff we got to cover. Don't forget, if you're part of the members page, tomorrow we will have Jason Goodman on. It'll probably be 2 Central Time. It could be as late as 3 Central Time. That's me, not Jason. I have an appointment with one of my kids in the morning, and that starts at around 11, I think, 11:30. And I'll just play it by ear whenever that's over. So whenever that's done, I will make it back to the, well, this isn't a studio. What? It's not an office either. It's kind of been taken over. It used to be a functional office. What is this place? I'm not sure what you would call this place. I wish you could see it. I wish I could move the camera around and show you a tour. It is, there's stuff everywhere. but hey. It's okay. But whenever I make it back here, I'll be able to fire the cameras up. We'll get Jason in and we'll get going. We're going to find out. We're going to ask him, where is John Cullen? We've had a ton of people in the comments ask that question. We will ask him that, may get into the Vegas stuff a little bit, talk about some other stuff as well. So that's what's coming up tomorrow. We'll not be in Saturday per usual, and then be back Sunday night for the usual Sunday evening broadcast, the original Real Baron podcast broadcast. That used to be every Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Could be as early as 6 this Sunday. We'll see what time that goes. I don't know what color is this. Is this tennis ball green? I don't know what color you would call this. It's something. But hey, one more thing. Mrs. Coleman spent a long time today on Etsy looking at the unlicensed, illegal Baron Coleman merch. There's some creative people out there. We will have official merch at some point. Give me another, let's say, month or so, and that'll be orderable. How about that? We'll make it work. All right, I have a comparison to do tonight. I've been trying to think of the best way I know how to compare how Erika Kirk is acting to how we as a society expect someone like Erika Kirk to act. And the best I could come up with is what I'm going to cover in my opening statement. And hopefully, as I detail one of the classier people who ever lived, maybe that will dial my blood pressure down. Although I did a pre-read of this open about an hour ago, and it did not dial it back at all. If anything, it got me even more fired up. So hopefully the second read through will dial it back a little bit. So let me get into the opening statement. Then we got a lot of news to cover. Man, do we have a lot of news to cover. Some fun stuff too. So we'll get to the fun news. We will get through everything we intend to cover today. I promise. I don't care if I have to go long today. We're going to cover it. Good evening, grumblers. I heard you guys last night got a little irritable with your humble host because I wasn't fast enough on the grumble messages. I'm doing my best. It's a one-man operation. I can only move so fast. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, art thou ready? I am. Here is your opening statement. Jacqueline Lee Bouvier was born on July 28, 1929 in Southampton, New York. She was born into a world of privilege. Her father John Verneau Blackjack Bouvier was a charismatic Wall Street stockbroker. He was of French and Scottish stock. Jackie's mother, the former Janet Norton Lee, came from an Irish socialite background. Jackie was baptized and raised Roman Catholic alongside her younger sister, Caroline Lee, who was born in 1933. Jackie's family split time between their Manhattan apartment and their Long Island estate, where Jackie developed a lifelong passion for equestrianism, ballet, and literature. Jackie was an exceptional student. She became fluent in French, Spanish, and Italian. She was particularly drawn to the refined beauty of French culture. She adored her father, but his alcoholism, his affairs, and financial losses from the 1929 Wall Street crash strained the marriage. Her parents separated in 1936 and had a public and scandalous divorce in 1940. This upheaval left young Jackie withdrawn. She retreated into books and her imagination. In 1942, her mother remarried. She married a wealthy stockbroker. This marriage brought a measure of stability, but also a blended family dynamic. Jackie gained 3 step-siblings and later a half-sister and a half-brother. The blended family split their time living lives of luxury. They lived at Marywood in Virginia and Hammersmith Farm in Newport, Rhode Island. Jackie's stepfather was not Catholic, and Jackie felt like an outsider in the Protestant elite due to her Catholic faith and her divorced parents. After she graduated high school, Jackie attended Vassar College in Poughkeepsie, New York. She found the suburban setting isolating. She much preferred New York City's vibrancy. She studied abroad in France during her junior year, and this experience deepened her cultural sophistication and her appreciation for French culture in general. She ultimately transferred for her senior year to George Washington University in Washington, D.C., where she earned a bachelor's degree in French literature at the age of 22 in 1951. Jackie's early career showcased her independence. She briefly worked in Vogue magazine's New York and Paris offices, but quit on her mother's advice to prioritize finding a husband and getting married. Back in Washington, D.C., she became the inquiring camera girl for the Washington Times-Herald, interviewing everyday people and notables alike, earning modest pay, but honing her poise. A short engagement to stockbroker John Husted ended in 1952. She said she found him to be immature. Fate soon intervened. In May of 1952, she attended a dinner party hosted by journalist Charles Bartlett. Also in attendance was Congressman John F. Kennedy from Massachusetts. Jackie was drawn to his intellect, to his war heroism, to his familiar Catholicism, and perhaps most importantly, to his ambition. Congressman Kennedy was running for Senate in Massachusetts during their courtship. He proposed after his election victory. Their engagement was announced in June, and they were married on September 12, 1953, at St. Mary's Church in Newport, Rhode Island. She was just 24 years old. John F. Kennedy was 36. Their ceremony was opulent. It was officiated by the Archbishop himself and attended by 700 guests. Her dress was designed by African-American fashion legend Ann Lowe, but the designer went uncredited because of racial biases of the time. The couple honeymooned in Acapulco, and they settled in Virginia's Hickory Hill. The early years of their marriage brought several challenges. John F. Kennedy had unreported health issues, including a 1954 spinal surgery. Jackie had a miscarriage in 1955 and a stillbirth in 1956. The couple relocated to Georgetown, where they welcomed daughter Caroline in 1957 and son John F. Kennedy Jr. in 1960. Jackie and JFK's marriage blended personal trials with a very public political life. It transformed her image from a private socialite to a national figure. As his Senate career advanced, Jackie advised on his image, his wardrobe, and his campaigns. John F. Kennedy's 1960 presidential campaign intensified her role. Early on, she joined events, but pregnancy with John Jr. mostly kept her homebound. She contributed by writing a well-read campaign wife column and participated in voter outreach and media interviews. Her elegance and star power drew large crowds. It is said that attendance easily doubled at JFK events when it was announced she would be present. Kennedy's narrow victory over Richard Nixon in 1960 made Jackie, at just 31 years old, the youngest first lady since Frances Cleveland all the way back in the 1890s. She was only 21. I had to look that one up. During Kennedy's presidency, Jackie prioritized family, renting a 400-acre retreat outside of Washington, D.C. for weekends and long summer vacations. Unlike the Eisenhowers, the Kennedys brought youth and glamour and media savvy. Jackie hired a press secretary to control access, limiting child photos to protect privacy. She became an archetype of the modern wife, and in particular, the modern first lady. She was both devoted and yet influential. Her signature project was restoring the White House. She started nearly immediately after Kennedy took office. She formed a fine arts committee and consulted experts like Henry DuPont. She redesigned the Rose Garden and the East Garden and preserved Lafayette Square. She founded the White House Historical Association and hired its first curator. The February 14, 1962 CBS tour of the renovated White House was viewed by 56 million people. More than 1 in 4 Americans watched it. It earned CBS an Emmy and showcased Jackie's vision. As cultural ambassador, Jackie traveled extensively, leveraging her mastery of the many languages she spoke fluently. JFK remarked after a 1961 visit to France that he was the man who accompanied Jacqueline Kennedy to Paris. In Vienna, she charmed Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev. In 1962, she toured India and Pakistan with her sister Lee. Other trips spanned Canada, Latin America, Europe, the Middle East. Amidst the glitz and glamour, there were also sorrows. The president and Mrs. Kennedy welcomed Patrick Bouvier Kennedy's premature arrival in August of 1963. He would live just 39 hours before dying of complications due to his premature birth. Everything changed in a single instant in Dallas, Texas, November 22, 1963. John F. Kennedy was assassinated at 46 years old. Jackie's entire world was destroyed. Jackie was seen in a pink Chanel suit climbing the trunk in shock. Agent Clint Hill kept her from falling out of the moving presidential limousine. At the hospital, she refused to change clothes. She declared, quote, "Let them see what they've done," end quote. She accompanied the body on Air Force One, standing blood-stained beside Lyndon Johnson while he took the oath of office and succeeded her husband as president of the United States. She was thrust into profound grief amid national mourning. Jackie orchestrated the funeral. She chose a closed casket and proposed the eternal flame at Arlington National Cemetery. On November 25, she led the procession on foot in a black veil with world leaders following. At St. Matthew's Cathedral, she whispered to 2-year-old son John Jr., prompting his iconic salute to his dead father. The burial, where she lit the flame, drew millions in sorrow. Immediately after the funeral, she retreated to the White House, where she shielded Caroline and John. Jackie vacated the White House the following month, staying with friends in Georgetown initially. In 1964, she thanked the nation for her support, and marking a brief public return, she immediately retreated back to privacy. She bought a house in Georgetown for her family, but sold it quickly due to the crowds. She moved the kids to a Manhattan penthouse overlooking Central Park, where the crowds could not easily assemble. Jackie's intense grief manifested in depression, insomnia, isolation. She relied closely on her brother-in-law, Robert F. Kennedy, as a surrogate father to her children. She became his single biggest supporter outside of his immediate family. She encouraged his 1964 Senate run and his 1968 presidential bid. His assassination on June 5th, 1968, while campaigning for president in Los Angeles, nearly destroyed Jackie for good. She rushed to be by his bedside. She told her closest confidants she feared a curse on her family. This compounded her paranoia about her children's safety, prompting thoughts of fleeing America to protect them. Privacy battles intensified. The paparazzi hounded her. She attended a few select memorials, such as Queen Elizabeth II's 1965 dedication of a JFK memorial at Runnymede and the christening of the USS John F. Kennedy in 1967. She even attended Martin Luther King Jr.'s funeral in 1968. Her pivotal post-death move was marrying Greek shipping magnate Aristotle Onassis in 1968. She was seeking security after years of vulnerability. The marriage was controversial for several reasons, not the least of which was Onassis's divorce and the couple's age gap. She used his tremendous resources to focus on privacy to raise her children. I'm not the first and won't be the last to think of Jackie Kennedy and her life in the immediate aftermath of her husband's tragic and public assassination when evaluating the last few months of Erika Kirk's life. The difference is stark. The distinction is obvious. Jackie immediately retreated with her two small children, who by happenstance are nearly identical in age to Erika Kirk and her two small children. Jackie, of course, was far more well-known before she lost her husband than Erika Kirk ever dreamed of being. Jackie was a verifiable public figure. She was known and loved around the world. If anyone on earth could have leveraged her husband's death to catapult herself to the upper limits of fame, power, wealth, and prestige, it was Jackie Kennedy. But she chose not to do any of that. She chose instead to retreat. She first retreated back to the White House, then to a friend's house, then to her own house. And when that was no longer private enough, she then retreated to a private penthouse in New York where the public had no access. She came out to public events when it was appropriate, when heads of state were dedicating public works to her husband, for example. Erika Kirk's last few months have been so shockingly different, so shockingly public, that it truly jars the mind to realize these two women experienced somewhat similar events at somewhat similar ages and in somewhat similar family circumstances. They both had a husband publicly executed. They both were in their 30s. They both had two children, ages 4 or younger. Here's a glimpse of Erika Kirk's schedule in the last few months. Keep in mind, her husband died on September 10th. September 12th, just 2 days later, she delivered her first public address since her husband's public assassination. She spoke from Turning Point USA's headquarters in a live-streamed speech vowing to continue her husband's mission. September 21, 11 days after his death, she delivered a eulogy at his memorial service, addressing roughly the 250,000 people present, as well as the approximate 100 million people who watched online. September 27, she hosted an episode of the Charlie Kirk Show podcast. She announced the show's continuation with a new format, her commitment to the American Comeback Tour on college campuses, and plans to release unseen speeches and interviews by her late husband. October 14, she attended a White House ceremony to accept the Presidential Medal of Freedom awarded posthumously to Charlie Kirk by President Donald Trump. So October 29, she spoke at a This Is the Turning Point campus tour event at the University of Mississippi in Oxford, awkwardly hugging the vice president in black leather pants. November 5, she appeared in her first TV interview since her husband's death on the Jesse Waters primetime Fox News program, reflecting on his life, the loss, the faith, and her last moments with Charlie Kirk. December 4, she was interviewed at the New York Times Deal Book Summit by Andrew Ross Sorkin, discussing her husband's legacy, political discourse, and her role at Turning Point USA. December 8th, she was interviewed live on Hannity on the Fox News channel by host Sean Hannity, focusing on her decision to complete and promote her husband's book, Stop in the Name of God, Why Honoring the Sabbath Will Transform Your Life. December 9, appeared on Fox and Friends on Fox News, discussing her husband's book and legacy. December 9, later in the day, interviewed on the Brian Kilmeade Show on Fox News Radio. Even later that day, December 9, served as a guest co-host on The Five. December 10, appeared on the show Outnumbered on Fox News for a full hour. December 11, appeared on Will Cain Country on Fox News. December 11, interviewed on the Glenn Beck program addressing conspiracy theories about her husband's assassination. Of course, promoting his book and discussing his legacy. December 13, participated in a 1-hour CBS News town hall moderated by Barry Weiss, discussing faith, grief, political violence, conspiracy theories, and raising children in the social media era. December 18, delivered a speech at Turning Point USA's America Fest Summit in Phoenix, Arizona, in a gold sequined outfit. January 21, spoke at the kickoff of the Turning Point USA Faith's Make Heaven Crowded tour at Harvest Christian Fellowship in Riverside, California. January 22, spoke at the Make Heaven Crowded tour in San Diego, California. Of note, more than one of these speeches featured Erika Kirk coming to the stage with fireworks going off around her. Everyone grieves differently, I suppose. Perhaps some don't even grieve at all. And that is your opening statement. If you thought that was heavy going into it, just wait. It gets worse for her tonight. I hate to say it. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but this is not going to be good. This is not going to go well at all. All right. I think I've dialed it back in my mind. I'm no longer a 10. I might be like a 7. And I think that's a fair place to be right now. I think it's a fair place to be right now. Let me see if I don't get too wound up. I have my coffee. I have coffee. And if I drink all this, I might be at 11 by the end of this video. So let me share the screen here. You guys have seen this. I want to give you a fair dose of commentary. So if you don't like when people stop and start videos, I heard Jimmy Dore this morning talking about how people didn't like when he stopped and shared the video. I'm like, then just go find the video on X and watch it. Why do you want to watch me watch the video? Wouldn't you rather watch someone provide commentary and give thoughts? That's what you're going to get, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to get a fair dose of commentary and thoughts here. This is Erika Kirk, just 5 days, allegedly, after her husband passed away, shockingly. That is a genuine smile, believe it or not. This Marina Minas over here, she is the marketing director, I think, at TPUSA. Also on here, I think in a second, it's going to focus solely on the affable Erika Kirk 5 days after her husband passed away. I want to point something out on the bottom because I've seen some confusion on why she's commenting on the thumbs up. There's a question down here, and can you guys hear us? Give us a thumbs up. Can't see anything other than Marina. So apparently she was asking for that before the video starts. And then you will see her cackling when the video starts. But I want to go ahead and get started with it. And I'm going to stop it more than once.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, this is a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet. I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never like Zoom. Sorry, you guys.
Where is her hair? I had no idea she didn't have real hair. And I'm not knocking people for having fake hair. You know, whatever. You want fake hair, have fake hair. But was anyone else aware of the fake hair? Because her hair is not there. I don't see it unless it's just really tightly wound up behind her. But I heard her one time commenting on something. She says, well, that's because I'm blonde. I don't believe you. I don't believe you're blonde. I mean, I believe you've created a situation where you're blonde, but I don't believe you're blonde. I don't believe your eyebrows and the ombre effect right there are consistent with that. So if you're complaining about something, airheady because you're blonde, no, that's just your personality. That's just your IQ. That's who you are. You can't blame that on your hair. I'm sorry. One more thing I'll point out is I believe that's Terrell Farnsworth on the left-hand side of your screen. Looking in, it kind of looks like him. I've heard people definitively say it's him. I don't know. that that's definitively him, but it does kind of look like him. But let's roll through here. She is about to transition from giddy over the thumbs up feature on a Zoom call. I'll be honest, I've been on thousands of Zoom calls. I've never seen someone get giddy over the thumbs up feature, but I am admittedly not someone who's been on every Zoom call that's ever been conducted, but she seemed to like that. So let me continue here.
I just wanted to say first and foremost, my heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is for our family. You guys lost not only a boss, but someone that you looked up to, someone that you believed in his mission, that you also that you loved. You loved listening to his show. You loved hearing his wisdom on things. I'm sure some of you have also had very personal moments of where you sat down and had private conversations with him.
All right, quickly, why are you telling them what they feel about him? That was a very weird intro to me. The other thing that was weird was, if you notice, at one point when she's talking about it, she does this move. Why are you closing your eyes when and being in pain and holding your hand over your face when you are describing how much these people believe in your husband? Did you not? Like, if you're talking to someone and they do this, they're not believing what they're telling you. Like, I got bad news. If the first time you lean in to tell your girl or your man that you love him or her, what up, girl? I just want you to know I love you, girl. And she goes, I love you too. Bro, no, she doesn't. I got bad news for you. Get the hell out. She does not. She did not. I believe in you. No, she does not believe in you. You better go. You better get out of here. I mean, that is not the face of someone who believes what she's saying. That is not at all the face of someone who believes what she's saying, nor should anybody have to take to a conference call to badger employees into understanding that those employees did, in fact, love their boss. I know how much you loved your boss. I know how much you cared for him. I know how much you believed in him. I mean, what if they're like, well, I just kind of answered an Indeed ad that said you were looking for an accountant. I voted for Kamala. I mean, you don't know that every one of these people believed in him and were just devoted to him. He wasn't David Koresh, right? That could have left at any point. It's off to a very weird start. Like, it is off to such a bad start. Again, I have to question the same question I asked last night when we played clips from the Zoom call. This is a terrible format for her, by the way. They need to restrain her. But there are two people. There's a person on either side of her, including Stacey Sheridan on one side. Did nobody stop her and say, stop, no, stop with this bad look. Let's kill the video. We continue. Lady, don't tell me what to journal. Don't tell me what to talk to my kids about. I don't care what you want me to do in this moment. I work for you. I'm here because you cut me a paycheck. I agreed to come work for you for $63,750 a year. I agreed for that amount. I would do data entry for you, and I would stuff some envelopes, and I would do some accounting. Maybe I'm a CPA. Don't tell me what I need to journal. Don't tell me what conversations I need to have with your kids. Now, let me go a little esoteric here, and this is where I really wanted to dial it back, and I'm gonna dip my toe into this water because we've talked about this a lot on this program. Demons can't read your mind, but they can hear what you say. They can read what you write. Oh, no. Did I not do the video again? Son of a biscuit eater. Did I really not? Oh, no. I did I not? Oh, gosh. All right. Well, good. The lucky thing for you is it was only 19 seconds. The bad thing is you have to sit here and watch it again, having heard my rant already. All right. I'm not making myself small anymore. Lord have mercy. You know, I had to explain that to Candace when you guys were in our comments talking about that. I had to say, I had to go like an embarrassed little fifth grader who'd peed his pants and explain to the teacher why he had to go change pants. I'm sorry, your commenters are making fun of me, Candace. They think I'm incompetent. They know sometimes I play videos and just watch them by myself and just listen to them myself, and they can't see them. And she said, well, I thought you ran a high IQ outfit. And I was like, well, Candace. All right. Now, listen to Erika tell you what you have to do. I need you to I want you to journal. I want you to talk to your kids.
I want you all to hold on to those. And I want you all to remember those so deeply. I want you to journal about them. I want you to be able to tell your kids about them. I want you to put those in your heart as why you're still here with the turning point you received family, because that's what we want.
I don't care what you want. Again, this is a job, lady. Like the only thing I want you to do is pay me my paycheck. A worker's worthy of his wages. That's the biblical relationship we have here. I'm going to show up to work. If somebody orders hats and my job is to ship hats, I'll be shipping hats. If my job is to check emails and curate things for I will do that. I want you to pay me what you agreed to pay me. I signed up to work here because you'd pay me $51,500 a year to do X, Y, and Z. This is my job description. Don't tell me what I need to journal. Don't tell me what I need to talk to my kids about. That's wholly inappropriate. And it's psychotic. Let's frankly just admit that. It's just nuts. And I go back to the fact that I do believe this about demons. They cannot read your mind. They don't know what you're thinking unless you act on it. And I do believe this woman is just infested at this point. I mean, I think all evidence points to that. In my opinion, it's just an opinion, but I believe it. I do believe it. And I believe the people around her are the same way. And that's why I believe they are so insistent. Go journal, go write it all down. She was probably the one telling Charlie to write everything down. Make sure you talk to people, talk it out, go to therapy, talk to a therapist, talk to a counselor, talk to a pastor, talk to your kids, talk to your family, talk it out. That way they know what people are thinking. I really believe this about this right now. I genuinely, honestly, 100% believe this is the reason for this message they're giving right here. You don't believe me? Go talk to an exorcist. They will tell you the same thing. But I don't want to get too esoteric and deep and spiritual. I want to stick to the temporal realm here from here on out. But I had to mention that because I thought I watched this video 20 times. I bet you I've watched this 8-minute video 20 times. I counted the number of times she said love one time. I watched another time, counted the number of times she said family. I'll tell you the answer to that at the end. Every time I watched it for something different. But one time I watched it, I thought, is there any evidence I can see that this woman is demonically possessed or influenced? I think the answer is yes, and I think it was right there. I want you to talk. I want you to talk to your kids. I want you to write it down in a journal. All right, here we go. The question you should be asking on this next clip. This is I want you to ask yourself this question for the next 20 seconds. I want you to ask yourself this question for the next 20 seconds. Why? Why is this so important to her? Why is this important to anyone? I want you to ask that question. Mrs. Coleman asked me this last night. When she comes in here after the show and while I'm doing the post-production and trimming it up and getting it pushed out to the different platforms, she comes in here And she stands right there. I got a little space heater she stands in front of because it's cold in this room. You got to keep it cold with all the equipment in here. So I keep it icy cold in here. And while we were talking, she said, I just want to know why. Like, but I just keep that in mind while she talks for the next 20 seconds.
And like I said to our small group, after whatever day that was that I did the thing on TV, how many days are still around Good Friday. I told the team, I said, Turning Point USA will continue like my husband always wanted, and it'll be bigger than ever. And we're going to honor him by doing that. We're going to stay humble. We're going to work hard because that's what he would want. And we're going to just make it grow.
Why? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? She acts like this is a church. Like we're out here saving souls and baptizing people every day. Like you're in a war zone. Guys, you do political work. Like you convince people to vote for Republicans. Now, I mean, it's fine. Well, not a bad mission, I guess. If you want Republicans to win, fine. But you know what? If you don't do it, there'll be other people that do. Like Heritage Foundation exists. They try to get people to vote for Republicans. There are people on the Democrat side. They do the same thing. Again, fine, whatever. If that's your mission, go for it. But they're acting like this is some sort of life or death, some sort of salvation issue. And that if TPUSA falls, the United States will fall, or Christianity will fall, or the Christian kingdom will fall, or Jesus will be ineffective here in the United States. Like it's spoken as if that is what's happening. Girl, you're worth 8 figures. Do you know how many people make $25,000 a year, and it would take them 40 years to make $1 million in income? 40 years. You have that stacked away just over and over and over. It can't be a money thing. It's got to be something more than that. But I am so confused. Ever since she asked me that question last night, I've been wandering around a day saying, why? Why is this so important? Now, I'll say one more thing about this last clip. She keeps saying, oh, we're going to build this so huge. This is what my husband would have wanted. We're going to do this. Is it what he would have wanted? Because I'm under the impression, based on what Candace said, that people said from the BB call in the Hamptons, that may not be at all what Charlie wanted. That may not be at all what Charlie would have wanted. Charlie actually may have wanted to keep it a different size because it was offered to take it to the next level. And he declined. Maybe it's you who wanted to take it to the next level. And maybe you were disappointed that he declined. Maybe the woman sitting to your right wanted to take it to the next level. Maybe the woman sitting to your right was disappointed he declined. Maybe the man sitting to your left wanted to take it to the next level. Maybe the man sitting to your left was disappointed he declined. Because that's more what it seems like to me. This gets back to that Turning Point 2.0 we talked about last night. I'm starting to think none of this was Charlie's idea. And that's why he's not here. For this next clip, I want you to think about how much hell Candace Owens took when she said Charlie Kirk appeared to her in a dream and said that he had been betrayed. You remember this, right? Candace Owens goes on her show. She shares what is a vulnerable moment. Anybody's dreams are very vulnerable. They happen when you're asleep and against your will. Most of the time, you wake up and you immediately start forgetting them. Within seconds, they're just gone. But sometimes a particular dream will stick with you for a particular reason. She has a dream that Charlie visits her and says that he's been betrayed. And she's relentlessly mocked. She's mocked by people on the right. She's mocked by people on the left. People assume this is evidence that she's out of touch with reality. I want you to keep that story in mind as we listen to Erika Kirk's next few sentences.
And we're going to keep our eyes fixed on heaven. And, like even Stacey said, he's going to find ways to speak to us. and he's going to speak to you in different ways. Every person's going to be different, but you'll get little moments where you're like, okay, Charlie, I see you. It might be here on campus. It might be in the quiet moments of the night, but he's here and he's more alive than ever. And he is, he's going to guide us. And we just have to remain humble.
Sounds kind of like what she described, right? Kind of sounds like what Candace described. That Charlie would speak to them. That Charlie would be present. That Charlie would give little messages. Now, why is that okay for Erika to say? Why are we not relentlessly mocking and dragging Erika all over the public? Why is Drudge Report not running a headline that says Erika Kirk thinks Charlie's ghost will talk to employees? Is he allowed to? He's allowed to talk to everyone he knew except Candace Owens. He's allowed to visit employees at TPUSA that he might have passed in the hallway. That's 700 employees. If you think every one of these people felt like family to Charlie, you're deceiving yourself. That's not the way it works. You work in a place with 100 employees. You don't know them all. You work in a place with 50. You don't even know them all. You know who they are. You know their names. You know what they do. You might talk to them occasionally. But Candace and Charlie had thousands of text messages together. They obviously spoke a lot over the years, over many, many years. Charlie is allowed to appear to these people, not allowed to appear to to Candace. All right. Now we get into the creepy, culty mafia side of things. So let's let it roll. Erika's going to take on a role here, a provider role, a nurturing role, a godlike role that she's going to assign herself here to mother her family. This is a very weird series of statements she makes.
But again, what I told the team was, I will fight like hell to make sure that all of you have a job here.
I didn't mean to pause it, but again, if someone closes their eyes when they say something definitive like that, they're lying to you. They don't believe it. I will fight like hell to make sure you have a job here. No, you won't. No, you won't. I would have immediately started dusting off the old resume at that moment. Oh, shoot, man. She's going to can us all. We're toast. She can't even keep her eyes open when she says it.
I don't want anyone to think the job's in jeopardy, because your family, if you choose to leave, that's different. I never will, and I promise you, I will make sure that I never allow a point to where you have to leave because we cannot financially afford you. And that is a promise. I want our family to stay together the best it can.
I want our family to stay together. I mean, this is what people say when, let's say there's like a 20-year-old kid and they've got 3 or 4 younger siblings and both the parents die in a horrific car crash or something. The 20-year-old might gather the younger kids together and say, listen, I want our family to stay together the best it can. I'm gonna start going to work. We're gonna move in with Aunt Sue. I will do my best to provide so that Aunt Sue can buy us some groceries. She's not necessarily wealthy, but she has some beds we can sleep in. I want our family to stay together. The whole family thing is really, really weird. It's culty. We talked last night. There's the Manson family. The mafia talks about themselves in the frames of family. If your job starts talking to you like that, they intend to abuse you. Period. End of story. If your job starts telling you you're part of a family, unless, it's a family-owned business. Like if it's like your dad and your uncle run a tire shop and he hires you to, clean up the cars after they mount the tires. Okay, it's a family business, whatever. But if you found the job from Indeed, it ain't a family. I got a bad idea. I got bad news for you. You're just an employee. They'll drop the hammer at you. You're at will. There's nothing you can do about it. Period. End of story. If they start talking about you being a family, what they're doing is they're manipulating you. This whole thing is manipulative. The way she drops the God comments, the way she drops the family comments, the way she tells them she loves them over and over. Girl, you don't love these people. Period. End of story. You don't love these people. You might like some of them. You would not lay down your life for the accountant level 2 in accounts receivable. I can assure you. I don't even think you would like share an Uber with that person. I'll give you evidence of that at the end. She says something and then catches herself. I'll point that out. But this whole mother provider role, guys, there are a few providers in your life that you'll come across to. There's the original mother. Everybody has a mother. Everybody was born to a woman. That woman is a provider for you. If you're fortunate, you might be born into a 2-parent household. Now you've got 2 providers for you. Maybe you find yourself in a faith-filled home, and the Lord himself becomes a provider for you. Your boss ain't your provider. Just not your provider. This is not a feudal land, not a feudal lord from the Middle Ages. This is a job. Like somebody's job is taking out the trash. That's their job there. They clean up the restroom, they clean up the break room, they sweep the floors, they make sure it's all picked up. We're going to give you $43,750 a year for your services as long as the parking lot looks good. There's no cigarette butts on the ground. There's no brown skid marks in the toilet bowls. There's no yellow drips around the rim. We'll get your money. You're going to get paid every 2 weeks. Okay. If you go to that guy and you say, I love you, that guy should look back and say, you're nuts. Like, you are out of your mind. No, I love you. I want you to go home and journal about your experience here. My experience cleaning the toilets? Somebody blew up the toilet on the second floor? You know what I had to do? Pick the peanuts and corn pieces out of the rim? Was that you, lady? You love me? Go clean the toilet. I haven't finished it yet. I had to take a break halfway through, take my elbow length rubber gloves off, and get on a Zoom call. All right, we continue.
Obviously, circumstances, there's unforeseen things that might pop up here and there that we can't foresee in the future. But for right now, the way things are, I would like to remain if they are status quo. And I think that's the best thing to do. And everything else we can worry about later.
What unforeseen things are you talking about? You just said you're going to provide for me. You just said you're not going to fire me. You just said you love me and I'm your family. Family doesn't have unforeseen things where we have to go our separate ways. That's opposite of the definition of family. Now, for you, it may be family. Like if things don't go your way, maybe someone loses a neck. I don't know. That's not how it works in my family. Maybe there's fragmented black plastic around your family when you guys disagree. Maybe they get shoved headfirst into the side of an SUV. That's not the way my family works. And so you can't, on the one hand, tell me that I'm your family and you're this mothering God role that's going to provide for me and take care of me, and then afterwards say, well, unless something changes. Huh? What do you mean? You're asking me to sacrifice my life. You're asking me to journal about it. You're telling me God is guiding this ship. I'm glad you hedged, lady. I was beginning to think I mattered. This next clip is a little longer. This is where we go full bore into the cult-like arena. This is where we feel like we're in Waco in 1993.
I just want to let you know that you guys are all very loved. I'm very proud of you. And Charlie would be, I think Charlie's just I'm trying not to say that he's obviously celebrating in heaven amongst so many things, but he's so proud of all of you. And he's so proud of all of you for keeping this mission alive. And he knows that you can do it. That's why you're hired. And he knows that you will be able to carry the torch, and he knows that you're going to do a great job, and you're going to be able to, even though days are going to be tough, honestly, the nights are the hardest. Mornings are pretty raw too. But but just what I've noticed these past several days is if I didn't have the family, the Turning Point USA family with me, all of you, I would be a disaster. I mean, I would be in fetal position 24/7. But the fact that we have a continued mission to look forward to, and we have our family, it's everything. And some of you, this is your chosen family. And just rely and lean on each other. That's huge. Leaning on each other is huge because all of you were together prior to this and will be together after this. And
this is so manipulative. This is so cult-like. This is so creepy. This is so terrible that whoever is to her right and left should have immediately stopped her and said, Erika, you cannot do this to these people. It is wrong. It's evil, and it should be illegal, frankly. This family manipulation. If I didn't have you, if you didn't work here, I would be in a fetal position 24/7. You don't want to do that to me, do you? You better not quit when we've got all these hat orders to fill. You better not quit when we've got AmFest coming up with our 33 stars in the flag. You better not quit when we got 200,000 merch sales backing up. You better not quit when we've got hundreds of millions of donors coming in. That is the most manipulative, maniacal, diabolical thing I've ever seen a person do. This Charlie, speaking on behalf of the dead people, you know, Charlie would want you to keep your job. Charlie would want you to be here. How do you know? How do you know? This is evil. This is evil. You're putting words in a dead man's mouth to manipulate some poor accountant in an accounts payable to not leave her job when she's worried. Because you've got merch to sell. Because you've got donations to process. Because you have a giant event planned for 3 months from now, and you're going to walk out in a gold sequin Elvis suit to fireworks. And you can't have these people quitting, wondering, how is TPUSA going to continue? Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse. This is now this is terrible. Don't get me wrong. But it actually gets worse because the next clip, I think, telegraphs a little too much.
and everything, and I told Justin, it's going to be something where everything before September 10th, any email you were working on, any project you were working on, it's not that it's irrelevant now. It's just things have changed, obviously. And the mission has gotten deeper, and the mission will grow deeper.
Wait, what? I thought we were carrying out Charlie's vision. Everything's changed now? Everything I was working on doesn't matter? Are you telling me I just spent the last 7 years of my life at TPUSA pushing pencils around the office? Sacrificing? Are you rolling out TPUSA 2.0? Is this what we were talking about last night? Is this the next level? We're going deeper? This is the upgrade, ladies and gentlemen. This is a confession, in my opinion. This is a confession. Everything you were working on doesn't matter. I.e., Charlie didn't know what the hell he was doing. We've got it under control now. But please, please don't quit. Please don't quit. Because if you quit, I won't be able to carry this out. I have no idea what's going on in the chat. They're talking about pink eye being from feces. It's lost control. I just looked over for the first time in the last 10 minutes, and that's the one comment I keyed in on. Pink eye is from feces. I'm like, well, I have no idea. Guys, we have a show going on over here. I have no idea. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I'm trying to draw like deep connections, and y'all are talking about pink eye coming from feces. I'm allowing it. Look, we're a family. No, I'm just kidding. We're a community. We're a community. All right. Here's where she begins to make it all about her. The one thing I wanted to do, and I never got around to doing it because I could not stomach the thought of watching it one more time. I was going to watch it one more time and tally up every time she said I. But I didn't. But here's where she starts talking about how this is all about her.
But like, I just want all of you to know, we will be wise stewards. We will
be wise stewards on our Gulfstream 5, flying all over the country at $10,000 an hour or more. Yes, we will be the wisest of stewards.
be vigilant. We will be humble. And I just want you to know that, again, I'm with you. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And we're going to make sure that we honor my husband so well that this whole world knows what his vision was and will be. And
I wasn't going to stop it here. His vision was and will be. Which is it? We have two visions here. Was and will be.
it's just, I feel so blessed and honored.
Nobody cares if you feel blessed and honored. That's not what we're here for, lady. We're not here to make you feel good. We're here to work. This is a job. No one cares about your blessed and honored feelings. Obviously, this came from Candace's show, so as they clipped it, you get a picture of the queen bee herself mid statement here. But I think the next 10 or 12 seconds is going to key in on what happened to Charlie Kirk and why he's no longer with us.
And we will do our best to continue to make Turning Point USA the behemoth that he wanted it to be, this massive thing. And it is, and that's why we have to stay humble. But
wait, he wanted it to be a behemoth, massive thing? Didn't he turn down an offer to take it to the next level? It seems like it only became a behemoth and massive thing the day you showed up as the girlfriend and the day you showed up as the wife. That's when it kind of took two giant steps. And it seems to be taking yet a third gear when Charlie finally stopped breathing. Charlie seemed to be reaching people with his preferred mission of economic liberty. Then you showed up. And all of a sudden, it became a money grab. I mean, he was sleeping on couches. He was donating his salary back to TPUSA to reach more people with his preferred vision of economic liberty. Then you showed up, and all of a sudden, donations tripled. And then you guys got married, and donations doubled again. And now we're flying around on Gulfstream 5s at $10,000, $12,000 an hour. It seems to me Charlie rejected making it huge, rejected taking it to the next level. I would ask if the $250 million or so extra dollars in donations that have come in, if that wasn't the next level, if that wasn't the next level commitment being given. Because Charlie in August rejected that offer to take it to the next level. In September, Charlie loses his ability to speak and breathe. And then all of a sudden, the money comes flooding in. It seems to me like it was taken. And now you're here 5 days after his death talking about how, we're going to make it huge. It's going to be so big. We're going to the next level. She almost used the word next level. This next part is where she starts, I think, anticipating that people will reject her. Period.
I just want you guys to stay in prayer. And if you guys do need anything, please reach out to whoever you know to reach out to. And pray with one another. Be there with one another. Be soft with them and one another. Everyone grieves differently. So if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
No, if someone's acting weird, I'm going to read into it. Like that's human nature. if someone acts weird, we read into it as humans. That's what we do. If let's just say let's just grab let's reach into the old bag of tricks and just pull out a random one. Okay, here, let's open it up. Random experience. You're the wife of someone who just tragically died at age 31 and left behind an orphaned 3-year-old, 1-year-old, and a widow. No. How do you act? Human nature tells us how that person should act. And if they don't act in accordance with that, all of a sudden it draws suspicion. Go watch any murder mystery. Go watch any missing person show. How do they identify the subject? He was acting freaking weird. I mean, just Netflix is full of stories like this. How did they figure out the neighbor did it? He was acting like a weirdo. How did they find out the wife did it? She was acting like a weirdo. She wasn't acting as someone as how we thought someone should act. Therefore, we had deep suspicions in that person. No, there's not everybody grieves differently. Everybody does grieve differently, but some people don't grieve at all. Some people grieve differently, and some people walk out to fireworks. I think she anticipated that people would begin to look at her and think, she's not grieving. And so she was already laying the framework 5 days into this.
Weddings and funerals bring out the weirdest side in people. Just anyone who's been married knows that. So don't read into that.
No, I disagree. Anyone who's married does not know that. Funerals might bring out weird sides in people. Weddings should not bring out weird sides in people. Weddings are joyous occasions. Two souls becoming one. What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Weddings do not bring out weird stuff in people. Weddings bring out weird things in honeypots, I guess, maybe. Maybe the husbands of honeypots, it brings out the weird side of them. I'm telling you guys, this was a disaster. I am so thankful to Candace Owens for getting her hands on this and playing it. I think this is, without a doubt, the end of Erika Kirk. And if it is not the end of Erika Kirk, then they're all in on it. Because there's nobody on the board at TPUSA who the last couple of days when these two different calls came out did not look left and look right at everybody in the room and say, holy bull butter, what in the heck is going on? They probably use stronger words than that. Weddings should not bring out the worst in people.
Just love on each other. And if there's anything or anyone who tries to divide your team or you, or that's just the enemy, and just rebuke it and know that there's a bigger mission at hand. And again, you guys are all very loved, and I feel very honored, and I'm grateful for all of you. So I just wanted to take some time to hop on and share with you my condolences. I wish I could help all of you, but again, the fact that there's a lot of them in the office on today.
Yeah, she just caught herself. I wish I could hug on you. And then she looked around like, oh gosh, a lot of people are here. I might have to hug them, so I need to somehow sneak out of here. Like, you could see it on her face. She was like, oh, I wish I could hug on you. And then she looked around, she goes, there are a lot of them here today, aren't there? Plebes. There's the great unwashed masses. They're here, aren't they, Justin? Aren't they, Stacy? Oh, gosh. Now they're going to expect me to hug them. How do I get out of this?
The fact that a lot of you guys are here in office, that's what he would. It's the mission. He doesn't want you to just be sitting on the couch alone in your room. He wants you to, obviously, I mean, we will all mourn, but he would want you to build. And so that's what we'll do. We'll have a sword in one hand, and we'll have a hammer in the other.
Has anybody ever built anything with a sword? Raise your hand in the audience. Have you ever built anything with a sword? Have you ever used that metaphor for building? Guys, what we're going to do, we're going to build. Everybody get your swords. Like if you go to the job site and they say, all right, guys, today we're going to build a barn. We're going to do it like the Amish do. We're going to do it quickly. Everybody grab your swords. Huh? Yeah, we're going to build. Grab your swords. We're going to get our swords and our hammers. Wait a minute. What are we building? We're going to build an organization. We're going to build a place to work. Excuse me, me in the back. Yeah, you. Why do we need swords to build? Now we're going to build a barn. With a sword? Swords are what you take people's necks off with. Yeah, grab your sword. We're building. Get your swords. Everybody get your swords out. We got a lot of building to do. We're going to put a sword in one hand and a hammer in the other. And you're just going to build away. Bah, 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 bah. Whoosh. Tap, 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 tap. Whoosh. Tap, 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 tap. Whoosh. Tap, tap, tap. You know, we're going to swoosh people's necks off and we're going to hit them with hammers. It sounds more like you're going to war, lady. It sounds more like you're anticipating that people are going to recognize you're wrecking Charlie Kirk's legacy, that they're going to recognize that you're the one who has agreed to take it to the next level, and people are going to be divisive and factious about it, and you're going to need people with swords to defend you. That's what it sounds like. All right, last clip. This is the one where she talks to the employees and she says, you guys with kids will recognize this. You guys will understand this experience.
Okay. I love you all. Deep breaths. Usha, I just want to share this with you all. I asked her when we were on the tarmac. I said, I don't know how to get through this. And she said, you know, when you're on an airplane, and some of you have kids who will really relate to this. Others that don't, you've been on a plane with kids, so you can also relate to this. But she said, when you're on an airplane and you're 15 minutes before landing and the kids are going crazy and you have 15 minutes left on the plane and they're throwing their toys and they're screaming and you're thinking to yourself, am I going to make it through these next 15 minutes? And then the plane lands. And Usha said, you're going to make it through those next 15 minutes. And the next 15 minutes after. And so I just want to share that with you because it was a very private moment. But it gave me some peace to know that we can just do this 15 minutes at a time. So if that means at work when you're feeling a little bit, stop, take those 15 minutes and you'll be okay. We're all going to be okay. I love you guys. Have a great meeting. Is there anything else to do? It's good. You guys are loved. Love this little film with all the birds. It's so cute. So sweet. God bless you all.
You guys ever have that experience? Hanging out on the tarmac with the second lady of the United States? You can relate, right? You can. Who can't relate to that? Who hangs out on the tarmac? You ever hung out on the tarmac? No. No one hangs out on the tarmac. We hang out in the terminal. There might be a soccer team going to, play a travel ball tournament. There might be, a group of people gathered around a bridezilla going on a bachelorette weekend. We don't hang out on tarmacs. Not even those of us with kids, particularly those of us with kids. Maybe if I didn't have kids, I could afford to hang out on tarmacs. But I thought that was the most honest thing she said the whole time. She's going to grieve for 15 minutes. That's the most honest thing she said the entire time. If you need to grieve, take 15 minutes. It's all you need. All you need is that 15 minutes. You'll be fine after that. You'll be fine after that. This woman is so out of touch with reality. If you're keeping track at home, she used the word love 10 times in 8 minutes. She used the word family 7 times in 8 minutes. She used the word I so many times I didn't want to go back and count it because it would take too long. I don't know how she survives these calls. I saw where Drudge Report had a headline of one of the calls. One of the calls was a headline. Erika Kirk call leaks or something. Maybe Candace Owens shows Erika Kirk call. I can't remember what the headline was. That was the first one. This one's worse. This one's worse. All right, I want to show you real quickly a tweet from, what day was this? September 17th. And it references a text message from August 27th. Here is the tweet. This is from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Charlie Kirk invited me to speak at AmFest a few weeks ago before he was martyred. You remember the hell Charlie Kirk took for inviting Dave Smith and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly to speak at the Student Action Summit in June? All that hell. Now, this was from this text message right here is August 27th, which means Charlie Kirk had those people. He then had a conversation at the donor meeting in mid-August and another conversation before that in the Hamptons meeting where he caught hell for inviting these noted anti-Semites to speak at his event. He gets off of that. He gets done with that. He goes on the Megyn Kelly show, clearly, visibly frustrated and angry. And after all of that, he decides he's going to bring Marjorie Taylor Greene to speak at AmFest. You should speak at AmFest. Notice he had not invited Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro had to buy his way on the stage afterwards, allegedly. But he invited Marjorie Taylor Greene. Would you also want to do a debate about AIPAC? Oh, he's going right into the belly of the beast. He's not inviting Marjorie Taylor Greene to talk about tax policy. He's not inviting Marjorie Taylor Greene to talk about the national deficit and the national debt. No. Would you want to also do a debate about AIPAC, meaning more than one appearance? You should speak, and then you should do a debate about AIPAC. Not with me, no pressure. We'll do whatever you want. Giving her free reign. We'll do whatever you want. That's what he's telling Marjorie Taylor Greene. We'll do whatever you want. Here's how she worded it. This was after I called for AIPAC to register under FARA and said that the nuclear-armed secular government of Israel was committing a genocide in Gaza and killing innocent children, Christians, and people. He asked if I wanted to debate about AIPAC. He said him, TPUSA, would do whatever I want on this issue. If you don't know who to believe between Bibi Netanyahu or Charlie's personal friend Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, I'm posting my last text message with Charlie. Believe Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. And at the same time, always remember, Charlie Kirk is an American Christian. Charlie Kirk is a devoted, loving husband and father. Charlie Kirk is a Christian movement leader, a giant in American history. Charlie Kirk is a Christian martyr for Jesus Christ. Charlie Kirk is a free speech warrior and was committed to nonviolent debate. Don't allow a foreign country, foreign agents, and another religion tell you about Charlie Kirk. And I hope a foreign country and foreign agents in another religion does not take over Christian, patriotic, Turning Point, USA. That is the message he sent her. When you add this to the timeline of events, this was 2 days after Brian Harpole says they began planning the UVU event. This is 2 days after the August 25th date where the SAM 000 flight flew from Camp Springs to Colorado Springs. This was 2 days after the Heber City flight flew from Heber City, Utah to Nashville, Tennessee. on the day the micro explosive was to be delivered. I don't know whether any of those are related or not. I just put it all on the timeline and let the timeline speak for itself. But the more we add to this timeline, the more we see about what's going on around Charlie Kirk, the more we see about his mentality. He's taken hell for hosting Tucker Carlson, so he invites Marjorie Taylor Greene. He's taken hell for having Dave Smith just absolutely batter Josh Hammer in a head-to-head debate. Now he's inviting Marjorie Taylor Greene to debate on APAC. He's taking hell for having Megyn Kelly up there. Megyn Kelly's, frankly, pretty innocuous when it comes to this issue, and he was still taking hell about it. And so he invites Marjorie Taylor Greene after Marjorie Taylor Greene had said all those things. That was also the day, August 27th, when the UVU event was announced at the website, the Turning Point website. Make America Great American Comeback Tour, whatever it was called, the American Comeback Tour. And as all this is going on, we're supposed to believe, we're still being sold the bill of goods that Tyler Robinson had just had enough. That Charlie Kirk, who stocked his office with like so many gay people, like it's hard to find anybody there who's straight. But we're to believe that issue is what finally caused his demise. Not all this other stuff, not all this other demonstrable stuff that he's doing. We're not to believe that it's this Megyn Kelly, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Dave Smith, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens problem. That's not why Charlie's dead. He's dead because a 21 or 22-year-old gay kid had just been fed up. Again, despite the fact that it seems like everybody in the office was pretty gay. Like it was a Flintstones convention in there. I thought that was interesting. Especially in light of what then happened just a few weeks later in Marjorie Taylor Greene's life. Perhaps she got the message with what happened to Charlie Kirk, because a few weeks later, she announced she's resigning from Congress in January. Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, a loyal supporter turned critic of President Donald Trump, who faced his political retribution if she sought re-election, said Friday she's resigning from Congress in January. Greene's resignation followed a public falling out with Trump in recent months, as the Congresswoman criticized him for his stance on files related to Jeffrey Epstein, among other issues. Trump branded her as traitor and wacky and said he would endorse a challenger against her when she ran for re-election. She got the memo. I think that was the clear point. Everybody says, well, why would they not just poison Charlie in his sleep? Why would they not just smother him? Why would they not just make it look like he had a heart attack? Why would it not make it look like he fell down a flight of stairs? Why some tragic slaughter in public? Well, notice Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned. I thought there was another interesting thing that took place. Mad credit to, once again, to Daisy for picking the story up. A really incredible series of events, of happenings here. In April of last year, this would have been about the time that in my opinion, the Charlie Kirk offing was being bandied about. Salem Media Group. We talked about Salem Media Group. We talked about their connection to everything going on right now with the FARA registration filings, all the money that's going to be spent on Salem, how it's part of the plan. Donald Trump Jr. and Laura Trump signaled a bold new era in conservative media. Salem Media Group, fresh off eliminating all corporate long-term debt and growing the #1 conservative news show in America, is making its boldest move yet. Today, Salem announces a historic multi-dimensional deal that not only adds two of the most influential voices in the American media, Donald Trump Jr. and Laura Trump, but launches the company into an entirely new era of scale, relevance, and cultural power. What does that have to do with anything? Well, just wait. Because Charlie Kirk didn't want to be a part of that. You know, his show ran on Salem Media, right? Well, sort of. Earlier this month, Charlie Kirk and the Charlie Kirk Show announced it would move away from its long-running, nationally syndicated radio format. Oh? You're telling me right before Charlie Kirk passed away, he was announcing he was moving away from its long-running, nationally syndicated radio format? It was nationally syndicated, by the way, by Salem Media Group, a shift that included elevating, yada, yada, all that. Colvette, we know Andrew Colvette, said the decision was made by Kirk prior to his assassination. So what happened with radio is that it was actually a decision that Charlie Kirk had made before he was killed. We kind of had a new path we were charting even before. We were kind of seeing the numbers, seeing where the audience was going, and we had made that decision. Colvette said sticking to those plans was intentional in the weeks following Charlie Kirk's murder, framing continuity as a way to honor his leadership rather than rework it. One of the ways that I felt like we should honor Charlie's decision was to do exactly that and to keep to the plan. And I think you're going to see that throughout my answers. Now, who changes her mind on that? Oh, Colvette said the decision to keep the Charlie Kirk Show on air came directly from Kirk's wife, Erika Kirk, who stepped into the leadership role. Oh, so we're not honoring Charlie's wishes anymore. Charlie wanted to get off of Salem Radio. Erika Kirk said, al contrario. A couple of days after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, Erika Kirk was not curled up in the fetal position. She was making business decisions about the media operations. Erika looked at me and said, "You must keep the show going. They won't silence my husband's voice." So the Charlie Kirk Show is going to keep doing exactly what it's always done, obviously without Charlie in the anchor chair. We're going to keep doing our best to honor his legacy, to honor his memory, and that means keeping the show going, despite the fact he didn't want to. So I guess that's how we honor legacies these days. Charlie Kirk makes a decision to cancel the show. He doesn't want to be a part of this new Salem media venture. He doesn't want to be a part of the massive FARA spending on Salem Media's airwaves. He doesn't want to be a part of it. It's almost as if he had made a clean break with that entire foreign policy establishment. It's almost as if Charlie Kirk looked out and said, "I don't like where this is going. Perhaps we should have Marjorie Taylor Greene speak at AmFest in December. Perhaps we should have Tucker Carlson speak at the Student Action Summit. Perhaps we should get Dave Smith to smack Josh Hammer around like a 4-year-old. And it's almost as if Erika Kirk didn't like that, nor did other people. I think it's pretty obvious what happened. Netanyahu calls and says, "I'd like to take you to the next level." That's what Andrew Colvette told Candace Owens. And Charlie at that point begins distancing himself and says, "I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I don't like the foreign policy direction of the Trump administration. I don't like the way Middle Eastern foreign policy is going right now. I don't want to be a part of it. I'd like to distance myself from all of that." So he cancels his show on Salem Media, or he says he's going to cancel his show on Salem Media. He sends the text messages out. He starts talking to friends about how he might get killed, according to Harrison Smith from InfoWars. He texts two people that we know of, Andrew Colvette and Dan Flood, saying, "I think they're going to kill me." And then he dies after he rejected the offer to take it to the next level, the tens or hundreds of millions of dollars that would help them take it to the next level. Then he dies. After he dies, Erika Kirk gets on these calls and says, "We're a family. You're not going anywhere. Here comes TPUSA 2.0, the upgrade." And all of a sudden, the money comes flooding in. Guess who's been taken to the next level? And guess who has become decidedly, on a foreign policy basis, very pro the positions that Charlie Kirk was distancing himself from? TPUSA. TPUSA is basically as pro Middle Eastern foreign policy engagement as you can get right now. The exact opposite of where Charlie Kirk was headed the last 6 to 10 months of his life. And we're supposed to believe that in the midst of all of this happening, by happenstance, it's just the weirdest thing. It's just the weirdest set of circumstances. While all this is taking place, these hundreds of millions of dollars of decisions that are taking place, all this pressure on Charlie Kirk, all the text messages about, I'm afraid they're going to kill me if I turn on them. I have to leave the pro-Israel cause. All as the midst of all of this taking place, wouldn't you guess some rando just decided that Charlie's position on alternative lifestyles was just too much, and he was going to do something about it? Well, isn't that convenient for everybody else? I mean, my goodness. Isn't that just the most convenient thing you've ever heard of? That's unbelievable. Now we don't have to worry about Marjorie Taylor Greene speaking at AmFest. We don't have to worry about Tucker Carlson speaking at AmFest unrestrained. We don't have to worry about Candace Owens speaking at a TPUSA event. Don't have to worry about there being anybody putting the brakes on hundreds of millions of dollars of donations. We don't have to worry about anybody putting the brakes on support for our greatest ally. We don't have to worry about any of that anymore. My goodness, what luck has befallen us. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why people look at this and say, I don't think this adds up. I don't think this makes sense to me. It's not in line with what everything else that was going on. It's not in line with the entire timeline. When I finally roll out this timeline and publish it in full, anyone who looks at that and says, man, what a coinky dink. Are you kidding me? All these dozens of data points that seem to point to the fact that there are a lot of really rich people and a lot of military industrial complex people and a lot of foreign policy people, and they all seem to have one common problem, that if that one common problem could just be eliminated, their lives would be so much easier and they would make so much more money and they'd have so much more power and influence. And they all have this perverse motive to take him out, but none of them did. None of them did. No. Tyler with Grandpappy's 30-06 and Charlie's magic neck. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah, and he just happened to dump the gun. He'd gotten away with it too. They would have never figured out it was him. There were too many people on campus. They would have never guessed it was him. Too many phones to track down. Too many. I don't care how many data points you had. You'd have never figured it out had he not thrown the gun in the chicken coop. You remember the gun that was found not by the local police with bomb dogs. No, not that. It was the FBI agents who by, I don't know if they had like magic vision goggles but they just walked right to it. After the area had been cleared by dogs trained to detect the exact thing they found. The dogs couldn't find it. The dogs couldn't get to it. But the FBI agents, boy, they walked right to it. They are something else. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happened. That's what happened. All right. All right, just again, a show update. Tomorrow, members show 2 or 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. That'll be 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm not doing the math on Mountain and Pacific. It's before. I'll have Jason Goodman on. It'll be a good conversation. We'll be there for at least an hour. And we'll run through some topics. He's done some great work on the Charlie Kirk investigation, among other things. So we'll talk about that as well. And he'll answer the question, where is John Cullen? Well, he'll give you an answer. He'll give you the only answer he can. I'll tell you that. He's not going to tell you the address of where John Cullen is. But he'll do as much as he can. And then I'll be back Sunday night for another live show. Let's run through some of these chats. Truly tried to give Erika Kirk benefit of the doubt. However, I honestly believe that she simply didn't genuinely love him. Grief, after all, is the price we pay for love. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that. Baron, please say a prayer for my husband. He had his left kidney removed today due to cancer. Just before they took him to surgery, I told him Jesus loves you. No. Love your show. Watching tonight from the hospital. Is it Paula? This screen is so small up there. I can barely see it. Paula, I absolutely will do that. And I encourage everyone in the audience to pray for your husband as well. That's cancer's scary. Cancer is just devastating. And sounds like they found a path forward, though. Hopefully he'll make a turn for the better. I've grieved for more in the past 24 hours after losing my dog than Erika Kirk ever has. Or Charlie, I'm guessing. Baron. Oh, I've already read that one. Excuse me. Hey, Baron. Ask Casey to look into bunker branding in Texas to produce and ship your merch. They work with lots of creators and they're a stand-up company. Roman Atwood, part owner, Crisis King. Crisis King, indeed. I'll get Nurse Casey right on that. She's going to be great. She's going to be great. I got her logged into some of the systems today or yesterday, was it? I don't remember which. But she's getting raring and ready to go. Baron, your recollection of taking your little Yorkie to the vet for the final visit made me cry. Well, I didn't mean to make you cry. Growing up Catholic, we were told our pets don't go to heaven. I pray that is wrong information. God bless you and your precious family. Go Max. That's a contentious topic. I don't want to wade into it. Catholic versus Protestant. I mean, I know what side of that argument I'm on, but hey, Baron, first super chat. Love your opening statement. Out of curiosity, do you play the high IQ game called Minute Cryptic? I don't. Today's creator sound like it could be you. I don't play it. I've never heard of it, but it sounds like a good game. Hey, Baron, just wanted to watch you. Just started watching you after seeing you on Candace Owens, and I've loved how much each episode engages my mind. I watched Nefarious today. It makes me so thankful for my faith. God bless you and yours from Idaho. Stay warm up there in Idaho. I hear you guys have cold winters. But apparently it's kind of a free little state up there. You have little hidden niche that nobody knows about. Thanks for watching. Welcome to the family. No. We're not going to do that. I knew a lady that lost her boyfriend and spent a month in his clothes grieving. I knew a guy that lost his wife and son in a wreck and didn't miss work. Neither of them sounded so happy about anything like EK did on the Zoom. Yeah, that's gosh, it's so weird. Erika, my husband is dead. Sorry, not sorry. And Josh legalized public executions. Hammers should couple up. Frankenstein and Dracula. I don't know. Is Josh married? I don't know if Josh is married or not. I'm open for Adidas sponsorships, ladies and gentlemen. I wear the Essentials collection. Where's your wedding band? Better not have lost it. Also, have you read Poisoner in Chief? A perfect example from today. I work out a lot, and today we did a lot of barbell work, and I don't want to lose a finger, so I don't wear a wedding band. I do have one, obviously. Never lost it. I tried those little rubber ones for a while. I'm not a fan. When you're doing high volume pull-ups or high volume barbell cycling, those rubber ones tend to tear up your hand a little bit. It's just easier not to wear one. I know I'm married. She knows I'm married. I've been married 25 years. I work from home. I don't go anywhere. I see nobody. I mean, I might go to Publix or Kroger occasionally. I go to the gym with her. She goes with me. So, anybody I see knows I'm married. You become a familiar face in my house. My kids love seeing you come on the TV. My 4-year-old son goes, Baron, and gets excited. Well, happy to have him. Key lime pie green? Maybe. Do you think Charlie Kirk was legitimately rejected from West Point, or was it orchestrated by the handlers to ensure the plan could be carried out? I've asked that very question. I don't know the answer to that. Coleman's courtroom. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Just curious, what is the male to female ratio in the Coleman household? Love that you're full-time now. Well, 1-to-1 in the married realm. I'm married to a woman. I'm a man. I have 5 boys and 3 girls. 5 boys and 3 girls. So my oldest is 19. My youngest is 5. We span the age range and not quite 50-50. 5 boys and 3 girls. And 3 boys in a row. And that was as many as we could handle in a row. Had the third girl been a boy and it had been 4 boys in a row, I don't know what I would have done with myself. It's just, raising boys is just different, ladies and gentlemen. I've raised them both. I've raised multiples of both. Every one of my kids can say they have brothers and sisters. And it's just wild. It's just wild. I dialed down my worry meter because of you and talked about giving your worries to Christ. Thank you. Hey, that makes me happy because I took a lot of heat for that, Charlotte. I took a lot of heat for that. People are like, you don't understand. You can't just give up worrying. I did. And we faced some family challenges since then. Some family challenges that in the past would have caused real problems and have not at all. I don't want to be too public with some of the things going on around Camp Coleman, but we've had some family things that in the past would have caused tremendous heartache, and we have not dealt with it. We've just let the worry go. Kids do this and kids do that, and we're like, hey, the Lord will provide. The Lord will provide. So you can give it up. It took a moment for me to do it. It wasn't instant, but you can do that. You can do that. Oh, this is funny. I can't wait for Erika to get her own Joe rant. Don't hold back. Also, it took me 22 weeks to realize that's JFK behind you and not James Dean. Yeah, that's JFK smoking a hand-rolled cigarette. That is not James Dean by any stretch of the imagination. That's funny, though. That's funny. Oh, the Chambers. You guys, welcome into the Chambers. And it's a mint hoodie. Coach Colin would be proud of that. I will allow a mint hoodie. We love you, your opening statement, humor, all the barren things. Thank you, Julie. Appreciate that. Yes, the hoodie is Philadelphia mint green. I knew Colin would get a kick out of that. More mint green hoodie. My question is, what is that one tip Charlie Kirk got that made him so certain they were going to neutralize him tomorrow? I don't know. Uncle Barron doing his thing. Oh, Coach Colin today. Am I his uncle now? That means I'm old. That's what the young people call old people. Unk. Thank you, Blue Cheer. I appreciate that. The man, the mint, the legend. I like it. I like it, guys. Alyssa, big time super chat. First super chat ever, and you went big. Thank you for all you do. Keep going, Max. We need the truth. Bayron. Thank you so much, Alyssa. I genuinely appreciate that. I'm doing my best out here. I sent you an email on the video you shared of Bill Montgomery being interviewed. The guy interviewing him looks a heck of a lot like Mitch Snow. It's not him. I think we figured out who that guy was. He runs some small group. I can't remember the name of the group he runs. Baron, fabulous show. Thank you for all you do. Off topic. I have sensorineural hearing loss. You? If so, do you have a recommendation on hearing aids? Thank you for being around full time. God bless. I don't have my hearing aids in the room with me, or I'd show them to you. They're in my desk in my bedroom. No, I wear Jabra hearing aids, Jabra, and they're really nice because they link to your phone. And Jabra also makes a now I do have this. Jabra also makes a earbud that this is not a paid advertisement for Jabra, but they make an earbud, and the earbud will sync to your hearing loss, to the pattern of your hearing aid. So my hearing is very clear out of those as well. These don't sync. I just crank them up. It's probably destroying my hearing even more. I don't know what sensorineural means, but I have a lot of loss on the high end, a little loss on the bottom, and my middle is actually not as bad as you would think. But the high end is just gone. Like I hear nothing up high. Eric has a giant head. Okay. I hope you're a woman. You're not allowed to say that if you're a man. Oh, Tatiana. Okay, yeah, good. She looks like an LOL doll. Every mom of 10-year-old girl will understand this doll appearance adds to the psychotic mystique. Think creepy doll in those horror movies. Yeah, there's a LOL doll or a LOL doll. Yes. Finally, I'm on time. Just wanted to say hey, and we love what you're doing. Also, Miss Erika, gives me hope because, man, she grieves so well. Like, come on, it's all in the eyes. Christ is king. That's it. Christ is king indeed. High IQ pastel. Nefarious was a lot. I watched Nefarious last night. Yeah, I'm skipping some of these just because we're already an hour and 40 minutes in. But so if they seem repetitive, I'm skipping them. Like if I've already commented on it. So Nefarious, amazing movie, absolutely stunning. Yes, it's a Philadelphia mint green hoodie. I'm allowing that for you guys. Love the color. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. As a dad to an autistic girl, I see level 1 traits in Erika: scripted speech, bubbly masking, and detachment. Her eye flicking, looking away are classic stems, not defending her. But I fear how these kids are being handled. Yeah, I don't have autistic children, I don't think. None have been diagnosed. If they are, I don't think they are. So I don't have personal firsthand experience, so I can't really comment on that. But I see more demonic possession than autism, if I'm being honest. Candace Owens said today that AK controlled CK's ex-posts. Daily Wire is controlling Candace Owens' old IG page. I've always thought some people's posts are controlled, such as Donald J. Trump Truth Social. Maybe Ye's apology, also not really him. What are your thoughts? I can't explain why, but I can't comment on the Ye thing. I'm not going to comment on that. And it's nothing nefarious. It's just I can't comment on it. The idea that other people's posts are controlled, I think that's incredibly highly likely. Incredibly highly likely. I don't know any particular person, but I think, once you reach a certain level of fame, a lot of people give up their social media to other people. It protects them. And, yeah. No spoilers on the Nefarious movie either, people, and humble host. Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers. Oh, Erika Kirk misses her husband like Casey Anthony misses her daughters. Greetings from Bulgaria. We're huge in Bulgaria. Casey Anthony lives around me, and she shows up in stores every now and then inevitably the neighborhood pages go absolutely bananas. Like, Casey Anthony was in my restaurant today. Blah, 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 blah. It's fun to follow. I mean, I just from a sheer entertainment perspective, I do follow it. Many forget Erika Kirk did her TV speech just 2 days after Charlie Kirk passed, dressed in white. Sus. Funny, she cried a ton with her crying handkerchief. But 2 weeks later in the audio with no cameras, she didn't cry once. Love your work. Yeah. I'm not, yeah. The 5 stages of grief are well established, and everyone grieves differently still means within those 5 stages. So apparently Erika Kirk has discovered a 6th one. The rest of us somehow missed. No, she bypassed like 4 or 5 of them. She went straight to, I don't know. What's this? What stage of grief is Elvis suits and fireworks? Is that 6? Did we add that one? My Hubs and I are huge fans. Well, welcome Slam and Hammy and Hubs. Slam and Hammy. I've also been humbled because I am a Valley Girl speaker since forever, and listening to everyone hate on Upspeak has me having an identity crisis today. Lord help. Hey, just change it. Stop doing it. If I can make myself do it, you can make yourself not do it. I'm sorry. I hate to be the one to break it to you, Slam and Hammy. I hate it. This show has some hard truths. Something that struck me in the beginning when the TPUSA guys were talking about Erika, they kept repeating that she was a lioness. And she was just as strong, if not stronger than Charlie. So weird. Oh, and Mikey McCoy was amazing. He was Superman, as was Charlie's neck. Yeah. Love the show. You should know the writer of Nefarious is a massive Zionist. Steve Deese recently referred to Candace as demon-possessed Jezebel. He's great friends with Jack Hibbs and Josh Hammer. Movie's still dope. I mean, the movie was awesome. I don't care what his personal beliefs are. The movie was awesome. So we will know that our disinformation campaign is complete when everything the American people believe is a lie, widely attributable to Bill Casey. I don't think he's the one that said it, but I agree with you. Look, I had this conversation with somebody in the comments of a X post the other day. That's why I said when I was on Trigger Show that I would love to interview Bill Casey, because at one time he was a real hero of mine. And then as my views on American foreign policy in particular, but American government in general, have evolved over the last, say, 20 years or so, I would love to go back and interview him from my new perspective. Not that I interviewed him from my old perspective, but to take on a dragon that you thought was an icon from 20 years ago, I think would be an interesting experience. That's why I answered the question that way. I certainly wouldn't label him a hero in the common sense of the word hero now, like I used to think of him. I was a big fan of Bill Casey back in the day. Jackie wrote Mrs. Tippett a letter of condolences for her husband's death. J.D. Tippett, law enforcement officer they murdered, in my opinion, to be JFK's body double, worked on the plane. Great woman. Melania reminds me of her. Yeah, I like Jackie. I know it's pronounced Bouvier, but when you're reading from the thing, it's sometimes comes out Bouvier. Me and my girlfriend Haley love your opening statements, Baron. Well, good. Thank you, UMC for Coyote. I appreciate that. Anyone flirting with this humble husband and father of 8 is lowering our collective IQ. Find your own high IQ husband and build your own. I haven't seen any flirting. They certainly don't pay to flirt, because I haven't seen them come up in the super chats. So you're safe, certain teas. You're safe. Baron, you mentioned extensions. Megyn Kelly said that was Erika Kirk's real hair. Okay, maybe it was. Maybe she had it pulled up really nicely. I don't know. I'm dying to know what the other ladies of the group think. Is this just another lie to add to the long list? Well, if so, then Megyn Kelly's in on it. Baron, listening to Frank Turk's interview, Magnificent, Magical, Mighty Mike yesterday, I had to remind myself that I was listening to a podcast and not an investor call. Or was it? No, it's all an investor call. Everything they do is an investor call, in my opinion. Erica's excitement and happiness presents to me as duper's delight. She's thrilled that their plan went so well with all the money they've made off the deception and betrayal. Ooh, that's a harsh statement. Yeah, that's a harsh statement. They have my live hidden on YouTube. You have to search deep for it. Been a loyal follower since day one. Never has this happened. I didn't know that. Well, a good chunk of you found it, because we hit over 21,000 live at one point. How many, all right, this is where I have to start shaming you guys for likes. Yeah. Fewer than a third of you have clicked the like button. Just letting you know. Make sure you go subscribe on your way out too. Or you can actually hit the subscribe button while you're still listening. I've asked this question myself. Was Erika Kirk an abuse victim and possibly adopted? I have asked this question. She acts like one. Hello from South Scottsdale. January 1 was 21 years alcohol free for me. Oh, congratulations. Glory to God. This is my favorite podcast by far. Rachel, congratulations on 21 years of sobriety. Your sobriety can now drink. It's old enough to have a cocktail. Don't do it. Don't do it, though. Don't do it. I don't recommend it. If I broke my sobriety, it would no doubt be with a Negroni. I just would never do it. Like, I can't. I don't think I had this conversation with my wife the other day. I don't think you could pay me $1,000 to drink a cocktail right now. I wouldn't want to feel like that. I mean, just to break the streak, if nothing else. I mean, is there 100 million? Yeah. So we could start over, ladies and gentlemen. JFK lives along with his wife and JFK Jr. lives along with his wife and his sister behind several speeches by Trump. You can see JFK Jr. and his wife sitting in the background. News came before boarding of a threat. I don't know that that's true. I've heard that, but I don't think that's true. Today on Jimmy Dore, Stu Peters alleged that EK started doing public TPUSA appearances back in June, long before Charlie passed. I didn't know that. That timing's interesting, because that's kind of when all the searches started. You know what I mean? RBP. Oh, love RBP. This widow still grieves. Age 47. He passed of acute and chronic alcoholism. Keep speaking up. Go Max. Oh, I hate to hear that. And then your name's Cosmo Sherry. Let's hope it's Cosmo for something other than the alcoholic beverage, because that would be a little too much irony. If so, dial it back, lady. I kid. I'm sorry that your husband passed, and I can't imagine the grief, especially passing of alcoholism. So I will continue to speak up. I'm not even Catholic, and I need that holy water and the confessional just to watch and listen to this demon. I've often wondered if someone sneaked a little holy water into her beverage, if it would start steaming, while she was speaking. I don't know. Baron, when I go to your other videos, it's still not showing the replay chat before you get too famous. Please, good sir. I'm trying. I clicked the button. Let me see if it's clicked right now. I'm pretty sure it is. Let me look at custom. Yeah, live chat replay is on. So it should be there. I don't know how to look. I can't make YouTube work. I don't work there. After her first speech, my husband and I sat in silence. I said something seemed off. He agreed. And then we asked God to forgive us for not giving her grace. Always go with your gut, folks. Love, Baron. Yeah, go with your gut. I should have gone with my gut earlier. I kept giving her grace publicly, even though privately I was a little weirded out. I kept giving her grace publicly, and then one day I broke, and I was like, nah, I'm done. I think most of you remember when that happened. Erika stated one time for her, the hair was all hers, not fake. Lie number 2067. I don't know. Maybe it's real hair. It just doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. Jackie O was an educated, career-oriented Catholic Democrat. Even though JFK was often unfaithful, she still grieved more than Erika Kirk. Sometimes people who insist upon their Christian values the most have the darkest hearts. Yeah, Jackie was a pro. There's no doubt about it. Jackie was an absolute pro. She was the portrait of grace. Jet Black Mouth, full demonic possession vibes. Sir Baron, thank you for being a true American, real man, gentleman, and sharing your brain and humor. Hope 200,000 subscribers by end of show. Where are we? I don't even know how far off we are from that. That's a lot to add in one show. Can we get there? Oh, no. I mean, we're not even to 196 yet. If everybody subscribes, we'll get there, because history shows most of the people who watch more than half the people who watch are not subscribers. So if you guys all go click subscribe right now, we'll bump up and we'll hit 200,000 by the end of the show. But I don't know why people would watch a show and not subscribe. Erika would have done well if she'd learned to act a smidgen of how our Jackie did. Poise, class, honor, and always backing her husband in public. Yeah, like I said, Jackie was a pro. I agreed for 6 months over my divorce. For 3 months, all I did was go to work and go to bed. It wasn't until the 6-month mark that I legitimately smiled and laughed again. Sorry to hear about your divorce, Jeanette. I imagine that was difficult. So glad you're speaking out about this. I wanted to add to the list of lies. Specifically, she said her hair. All right, we got 2 people complaining about the hair. She may not. She may not. All right, I know when this comment was made, because I did it again. And I've done several shows in a row now where I haven't made this mistake. We're not going to rehash it. We're just going to keep getting better, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep getting better. You guys deserve better. You guys deserve better. I see. All right, I'm seeing all the comments now where it happened again. I'm sorry. MK, psycho drugs, electroshock, hypno, sense deprivation, isolation, sensual abuse. If Erika Kirk is a victim, then free will is shrunk, and if not trapped, can't leave, be an enemy to her captors. Yeah, I'm concerned that there may be a past that we've not yet uncovered, because she certainly acts like it. Baron, I feel your frustration is truly soul-crushing to see how she is behaving. My heart just breaks for Charlie, but mostly the children, if they even exist. It's all so dark. I've asked myself if those are his kids. I mean, I've asked. I don't know. I think they are. Legend has it that they are. Why can't Grumble members be in member lives? We're gonna get there. I might be able to work you guys in. Let me work on that tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get the Grumblers into the live tomorrow. Let me see how to do that. I know how to stream through StreamYard to members on YouTube. Let me see if I can set up the Grumble members live at the same time. Let me try that. So I promise you, we're going to do some Grumble live stuff in the very, very near future for the members. We're going to do some members stuff for the Grumblers, but let me try to figure that out tomorrow. Thank you for bringing that up. Oh, I already read that. I truly think Charlie Kirk refused the geofencing, and that was the last straw. That's what the next level money was for. It could have been for that and a whole lot of other things. I think it was to buy off his silence and tell him to stop bucking the foreign policy. Barrett, love your authenticity. Please consider starting a simple email list newsletter. Then, like Candace, send a notification. RBP is going live soon, 15 minutes before starting your live screen. It'll help more join on time. So I'm going to have somebody rework my website. My website's garbage. It's been garbage for a long time, but I own it. So I'm going to have it reworked. And it will be a show portal where I can put stuff up that maybe can't be viewed on all the other platforms. I can just put it up there, right? I can just record it and then put it up there. So that's option one. Option two is I'll have a portal where I can take in information like email addresses so that I could send an email out. So I like that. I don't hate that at all. I could even send a text. I don't know if people want that. I'm happy to do that. I won't sell your stuff. I'll put out a really strict privacy that I'll never ever share your information. I'll protect it behind some kind of a certified system or something. I don't know, but I don't want you to feel like if you give me your stuff, you're going to start getting spammed from someone else. Oh my gosh. Baron with the 1970s Barry White voice. Can you open every show like that? Mrs. Coleman, you're a lucky lady. Much respect, and I kid. We have a joke, Miss Bailey, that when a man tells a man he's a lucky man, that means he wants to have his way with his wife. So men, don't tell men, oh, you're a lucky man. No, don't say that, because men know what that means. I'm assuming women don't have the same code, Miss Bailey. For you and your kids to go to 31 Flavors, Baskin Robbins. We have a 31 Flavors here in town. In memory of your hoodie color, daiquiri ice. I do remember daiquiri ice. We felt so old eating it. Oh, we felt so old eating daiquiri ice. I remember that. Gosh, I would have never thought about daiquiri ice again a day in my life without that comment. For all us kids that grew up in the 80s, that was the best treat. It was, man. We felt like absolute, like you're 12 years old, you rode your bike up to 31 Flavors, you get the daiquiri ice, and you just feel like you're 25 years old, right? You might as well be king of the world in that moment. That is awesome. I totally forgot about that. Thank you. I will take my kids on you, Warrior, Doberman. Stu Peterson, I think it's Stu Peters, had a ballot harvester on a show who mentioned Erika had increased her presence in the office prior to Charlie's murder. Does this seem like pre-staging for 2.0? Yeah, I would think so. I need to watch that. I didn't watch that today. I tell everyone, never speak to your fear, insecurities, or anger. The devil will use it for everyone. I know from experience. Fair enough. It's not key lime pie green, but I'll allow it. I like this daiquiri ice or Philadelphia mint. Either one. Baron, I made a video about a woman who claimed to remotely view an afterlife encounter with Erika and Charlie Kirk involving soul agreements and possessions. Thoughts on possession? Love the show. I've given lots of thoughts on possession. I am not going to watch that. I'm not going to watch somebody who claims to remote view the dead. Those are demons. Speaking of possession. No, don't bother sending me that stuff. I'm not watching it. No. I will not engage those people. This is my first super chat ever. All right. What's your name? Buggers meat? I can't see that. It's too small. Doggone it, it's hard to type. Agree, Erika's behavior is beyond bizarre. What are your thoughts on Colin's theory that she's been MK'd? I find it hard to ascribe purely to lies and evil. I don't hate his theory. I don't hate that theory in general. Obviously, I don't want this to happen to anybody, but I understand those who say her childhood may not be what we think it was. This woman is so driven by money, power, and cares absolutely nothing about people's feelings and life past what's in front of her, including her children. In your opinion. In your opinion. Do I remember when Jimmy Kimmel got in trouble for saying it was MAGA who killed Charlie? Yes, I do. I think Hunter Kozak told Jimmy what happened. His father works for Kimmel. Thoughts? Cheer. Oh, now that's interesting. Maybe Kimmel knows something the rest of us don't know because of his connection with Hunter Kozak. That's an interesting theory. I'd never considered that. When I play videos, you can't hear them. Sounds like they're underwater. Can you put an extra mic up to the computer or something? No, I could turn that pod up a little bit. Maybe that would help. It's up at 100%, but I can run them up to 110 or so, 120. So that'd be option one. Option two is some of the videos are very poorly recorded, including that one. I had trouble hearing it. So I had mine cranked all the way up, and I actually had to plug my ears into another device and run the audio through that device because I can add more volume to it. I can't do that for the show. It won't go out over the air that way. I had to run that audio through a different computer that has a little more volume. Son of a biscuit eater. I did say that, didn't I? Erika told Megyn Kelly her was hers on stage at TP event. She said her hair was hers on the stage. Charlie loved it. Evil is real, Baron. She is possessed. Well, it might be real hair. It could be real hair. We don't know that it's not. Erika Kirk, you should stay home with your babies. Also, Erika, unless you work for me, work 20 hours, 7 days a week. Let someone else raise your babies. We're busy building. Or if you are Erika Kirk, everybody else needs to stay home. We have swords in our hands. Erika will probably want to sell another book, Journals from My TPUSA Family. Ooh. No, I think there's a demonic element to her telling people to talk about it. I genuinely do. Holly from Etsy did say she emailed you about the merch on her Etsy account. Hope you got my Venmo from yesterday. I probably did. I have not looked at them from yesterday. I usually look at Venmo every few days and thank the generous donors who donate over at Venmo. And I've just not looked in a couple of days. I've been very busy trying to put shows together and take care of a few things around the house that needed taken care of. I will check on that. I'm not necessarily opposed to the Etsy merch. I just thought it was a little forward that people were selling my name without telling me. Interesting how she said to use the therapist pastors in a healthy way. Would an unhealthy way be venting about how toxic the work environment was, how burned out everyone was, running on fumes during active grief? Unreal. There could be lots of unhealthy ways, according to her. It's a classy joint, ladies and gentlemen. We have taken our mason jars to the next level. I love that. My kids love when I do that. Erika says they will stay humble. I don't think she understands the meaning of the word. Yeah, I agree. Why do they keep letting her do interviews and public appearances? Someone needs to not smack her. I'm not encouraging violence. Somebody needs to smack the microphone away from her. Each week, she makes them look worse. Her popularity is going down, and they get tons of negative comments on all their socials. What are they doing on purpose? I read some of the comments from her Twitter feed, her last Twitter post from last night. I read them to my wife after the show. They're awful. Like, they are awful. Why would you even go out in public if that's how you were treated? Golly. Holy mackerel. Baron, that was up there with the best of your opening statements. Oh, thank you. Traveling 800 miles with my mother today and tomorrow. Looking forward to having you along for the ride. Travel safely. I hope you're going kilometers. Oh, you're in Australia. 1,200 kilometers in Australia. That's like the whole place, right? I don't know how big it is. Hairstylist here. She has extensions. I like how you just called her out as a liar. No, she's lying. In your opinion. That's the reason she has those short hairs by her face. Also, she is heavy highlighted bleach blonde. No, she's not blonde. She just has fried hair, which is fine. I mean, if that's what you want to do, but then don't blame your airheadedness on being blonde, because that's just you. That's just you. I never understood the blonde airheaded thing anyway, but EK said to use the TPUSA counselor. Could that be to find out what people are thinking, saying? I'd be interested in finding out who, out of who were fired, how many went to the TPUSA counselors and what was said. Now, that's a great story idea. Daisy Girl, great tip. I hope all you YouTubers out there are running that down. Those people are known. You know who they are. Or you could find them. I mean, just dig around an X for a little while. You'll run across them. This is interesting. Speaking of demons, did everyone forget she said someone had paid for an Etsy Jezebel witchcraft hex on Charlie the night before he passed? Yeah. Are we asking if it might have been her? Because that's what I thought when I read your comment. Her blue eyes darkened until they were almost jet black. The demonic possession is real, believe it or not. I have to go back and watch that. I didn't see that. You're the second person that made that comment, though. They made her look awful, so it appears she was grieving. And who cries from the side of the eyes and not your tear duct next to your nose? Such a fake. I've noticed she always does that thing on the side over here. And I've sometimes done this. So I get it. But trust me, it crossed my mind too that they made her up to look like that. But I don't think they would have taken the stensions. I think they'd have left her stensions in if they'd have thought that was going to get out. Baron, love your show. Can you list, in your opinion, everyone you believe was involved in the neutralization of Charlie Kirk? Thanks for running a high IQ outfit. No, I can't. I can tell you the people who've been suspicious. Starting with Terrell Farnsworth, I think is one of the more suspicious actors in the entire narrative. Brian Harpole, obviously. Dan Flood, certainly. I would say the top two suspicious people were Dan Flood and Terrell Farnsworth. In my opinion, again, I'm not accusing them of being complicit in murder. I'm just saying, as you watch video, as you hear stories, as you listen to explanations, as you figure out what happened to these people, those two are at the top of my list of suspicious actors. Frank Turek, believe it or not, I find incredibly insincere about the whole thing. Mikey McCoy, Brian Harpole, as we said, Erika Kirk, Rob McCoy, Elizabeth McCoy, Andrew Colvett, Philip, is it Goldsberry Jr.? I mean, again, I'm not saying any of these people were involved in a murder in any way. I'm not saying they were involved in a planning and execution of anything. I'm not saying that they were. I'm just saying as I watched the screens, they acted in ways that surprised me because I'm an observer of the human condition and human nature. And what I see on the screen and what I see when I hear these people talking is not consistent with my expectations. That's not me providing evidence or stating anything more than an opinion that their behavior was suspicious. So I can't say who I believe was involved. I can say who I found suspicious at the time. Looking back, I hope that answers your question in a way that the TPUSA people understand what I'm saying. Baron, started listening to you after I watched you on Candace's podcast. You make me laugh so much. I'm having the hardest time understanding why there are still Christians not seeing Erika Kirk for who she is. Demonic possession is real, my friend. Very real. He's a great deceiver. A very, very great deceiver. Erika Kirk is a product of this younger, narcissistic, raised on Kardashian influence. Money cannot buy class. Boy, ain't that the truth. That's the difference between EK and Jackie O. She just cannot rise to the occasion. That's not the only difference. That is not the only difference. Dorinda, thank you. Very generous donation. Baron, they have Jelly Roll on Brandon Lake and others in their tour. On Brandon and Brandon Lake and others in their tour. Can we reach out to them and tell them not to? Jelly Roll is so new to his faith. I don't want them to ruin him or Brandon Lake. I mean, you can reach out to anybody you want. I recommend you do it through proper channels. Don't knock on people's doors. Don't try to call their cell phones. Don't try to track them down in public. You know, if you reach out to their press person or if they have some kind of public fan email address or something and you want to contact them, that's fine. I would never encourage anybody to try to harass somebody, so please don't border into that. But if you feel compelled or called to reach out to somebody in a Christian manner, and you do it within the acceptable limits of communication in modern society, yeah, I'm for it. Keep up the great work, Baron. You are so authentic and real. I love it. Well, thank you. I love your comment. I'm very grateful for you always having a two-parent home, and I'm very grateful for always having a two-parent home and Jesus. Well, you, sir, are lucky. There's no doubt about that. You should thank your lucky stars and your Lord and Savior. My boyfriend died when he was 19. I was 17. I wish I didn't know what this kind of grief feels like, but I do. Enough to know right away Erika does not feel it. She did not love him at all. I'll tell you what. You know who she's having the hardest time with is women who have experienced loss. That's who's giving her the hardest read. Erika seems to have snowed under a lot of men. And I think it's, frankly, can I make a comment real quick on how shallow men are real fast? Joe Rogan had a great bit about the female Secret Service agent who was guarding the White House when the crazy guy broke into the White House and like just bull rushed her and knocked her aside. But then he ran in, he didn't know what to do. It was a hilarious bit if you've not seen it. Like he's running through there. He's like, they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. And he gets all the way to the door. He's like, oh, smacks the woman out of the way. And he runs in thinking they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. And he gets all the way into the West Wing. And he's like, all right. And he just like turns and walks out. And Joe Rogan's bit was partially about that guy breaking in and how we have this myth about how secure everything is. And then every now and then something happens that betrays that myth. But he made a greater point about how a woman would end up in that role. And he even said that, Barack Obama must have walked out and like, guys, not that much diversity. I don't mean to spoil the bit if you haven't seen it, but it's very funny. Try to find it. I'm sure it's on YouTube. But his conclusion is accurate. Women end up in roles like that because men want to have their way with them. And men will be very agreeable with a woman they think they can have their way with. Oh, yeah. You want to guard the president? Sure, you can guard that door all by yourself all day long. Yeah, you could totally do it. Because he thinks that's going to get him a shot. And I think there's a lot of that with Erika. I think conventionally you're supposed to find her very attractive. She has all the characteristics of someone who is attractive. I don't find her remotely attractive, so I don't fall prey to that with her. And I think the reason is because I have such distaste for her as a person that I don't find her attractive. Yeah, that's funny. I'm going to mark that so I can read it in a second. But I think a lot of men find her attractive, and so they just believe what she says because we're hardwired as men to believe what attractive women say. And women don't have that. Like, they're not looking to propagate. And a woman who has experienced the loss of a spouse or deep grief, they're not giving her a pass. They're not buying it. I don't care how many times she does this. They're not buying it. They're not buying it. Those mic end caps must be traveling by paddle boat from China, huh, Baron? I called today and asked where the hell they were. Because I've gotten so spoiled by Amazon where you order something at 5 a.m. and it's at your house by 11 a.m. I've gotten so spoiled by that. I actually ordered something else for the chambers here, I guess you're calling it. A little more sound deadening. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 sound panels up. I ordered 4 more just so I can get a little farther away from the mic. If I get back here, it gets a little echoey. I think if I get a few more panels up, I'll be able to get a little farther away. And I think that'll elevate the sound quality quite a bit. And for the cost, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's, spend a very small amount of money and gain tremendous quality of sound. But when I ordered it, they were like, they will be there in February 18th. And I looked at my thing and I was like, what, dude? February 18th? Like, I could go cut down a tree and sew the fabric together by February 18th. I could go, I could go get old T-shirts and strip them down and make little cotton balls and put. February 18th, but I ordered them. And the end caps must be in the same package, apparently. If you're wondering, no, they didn't answer the phone when I called. Nobody answers phones anymore. Do I think Erika knew Charlie's password and read all of his messages? Yeah, probably. Yesterday's live, Erika Kirk's voice changed 2 to 3 times. I was listening with my AirPods, walked back to my something, and I thought it was an audio issue. Played it again later to show my husband, and what I heard isn't there anymore. It might have been an audio issue. Might have been on my end. I don't know. I read Home Sweet Home per your suggestion. Loved it. Now reading Crossing the Tiber. Oh, you're cooked. If you're reading Crossing the Tiber, you are cooked. You're Catholic, whether you know it yet or not. RCI classes don't start until September. I'm excited to get started. How do I attend Mass without offending? Do I just hang back during the Eucharist? Yeah, just stay in your pew. Stay in your pew. That's it. There's no requirement you go forward. A lot of priests, if you go forward and you cross your arms, they'll give you some kind of a blessing. But maybe just ask, hey, or just watch. Go to a Mass and watch. Trust me, if you see people going forward to get a blessing, then that's obviously the culture of your parish. Not every parish is as welcoming with that as others. But yeah, you can just hang out. A lot of people do. Especially if you go to a Hispanic Mass. Like sometimes you'll miss the morning Masses and you'll end up at the 2 p.m. Hispanic Mass. Like half of them don't go for communion. I don't know what's going on in our Hispanic community. And then get to confession, boys and girls. Got to get to confession. Baron, old office, new name, The Layer. The deeper you dig, the thicker it gets. Go Max and stay gold. I don't hate it. Oh, also, I was Doreen Colleen on Rumble last night with the Super Chat. Just wanted you to know. Praying for you and your family and our other favorite podcasters. Well, thank you, Dorinda. I didn't know you had 2 different names. Your Super Chat was very generous. Thank you very, very much. Absolutely love the opening statement tonight for Erika Kirk to be able to have the mental capacity to manipulate so many employees and viewers the days after her husband's death is impossible to understand. Thanks for the show. Thank you. I could not agree with every word of that even more than I do. Would you say, in your opinion, that TPUSA's new 2.0 version is similar to Ian Fleming's version of 00? Perhaps, maybe, allegedly. Maybe I watched way too much EK videos in the past 48 hours. I'm talking about the James Bond. Are you suggesting she's a spy? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know if spy or just co-opted along the way, but she certainly, there's something there. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. If Charlie wanted Erika as CEO, wouldn't there be a legal document or will that stated that? No, because he didn't appoint the CEO. He was just an employee. Believe it or not, the directors don't own it. The directors manage the business. The CEO just works at their pleasure. So no, he has no say in who succeeds him. Surely he would have made those arrangements on paper, not some random meeting in Aspen. Now, I agree with you there, that he, in all likelihood, would have stated his wishes somewhere. I do agree with that. But I don't think that I think if there was a writing, we would have seen it by now. If there was something in Charlie's name and in his handwriting, like some journal supposedly he wrote all the time, that said, "Oh, I just can't wait for Erika to take over when I get unalived," I think we would know about it. I think we would have seen it. Look, here's Charlie's handwriting. It's like the word of the Lord. I still want to know what she meant when asked, "What do you know?" And her response was, "I know everything. Jesus love you, Baron." Yeah, it's getting darker by the day, isn't it? 2 things unlike Jackie. EK wasn't sitting next to her husband when his head exploded, so her reaction is tougher to compare. And B, do we know if EK saw the video of Jesus? Oh my gosh, of Charlie getting exploded? Yes, we do know that she saw it because she said she saw it. I'm pretty confident she said she saw it. She said we all saw it. We saw what happened to him. I don't know that. I don't think sitting there is that big of a difference. I don't think. I mean, maybe. Oh my gosh, great opening. Opening statement. Hold please. Only professionals here, guys. You didn't show us that part. Are you making fun of me for following up a decent opening statement with the fact that I made you watch the side of my head for a 19-second clip I intended to play? Yes. I do apologize. It won't happen again. Oh my gosh. Rose, thank you. Very generous donation. I'm just a retired special education teacher as of February 2025, and you have pushed me intellectually more than any college ever did. And I have a master's. Makes me sad for others who embrace stupidity. Well, this is a high IQ outfit, Rose. A high IQ outfit. So thank you. I do appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate the very generous donation. I hope I took my blood pressure meds before the show. I don't take blood pressure meds. I have flawless blood pressure. I'm like 105/62. I take it. It's great. You wouldn't believe it when my face turns red and my veins start popping out, but it's true. Jaeger. Baron, thank you so much. The yin and yang of you being brilliant, oratory tactician, and an absolutely hilarious comedian make for YouTube comedy gold with a gracious portion of high IQ wisdom. I need you to follow me around and just shout as I walk down the road. I need you to follow me around in my daily life. And as I encounter people, be like, hear ye, hear ye. Brilliant oratory tactician coming through. I can't help but feel EK made herself intentionally look extra disheveled, dressed to the nines every other time she's in front of the camera, except when she's asking employees to work 80-hour weeks. It is awfully convenient, isn't it? It is awfully convenient. Well, that's just a disturbing comment. That's a very disturbing comment. Glad Erika didn't lizard tongue Candace's eyes out. Golly. I've got that image in my. Is she reading from some sort of script or a checklist every time she looks down? This whole video is icky, but person to left and right did not stop her. Are they providing talking points? Well, that's a good question. And I did notice that from time to time she looked down when she got caught, and she would say things like, oh, we're just trusting it and putting it in God's hands. Oh, we're just part of God's plan. But it wasn't at the appropriate time. Like, it's not when a normal person would say something like that. We're building a religion, a limited edition. We're now accepting colors for these pendant keychains. That's nice. Well, this was my original thought. So you've raised the reason I want to play this comment, that you've raised one of my original thoughts. One of my original thoughts was she was just scared to death. She was scared for her life, and she was afraid for her children's lives and her own life, and so she was just playing along. I don't think that anymore, because by now she could have gotten to safety. It's a little bit like Patty Hearst, right? Everything started at the end of the Hamptons phone call. I don't think that's when everything started. I think there were things already in place that the Hamptons phone call could have stopped. But I don't think that's when it started. In my opinion. Kind of has that hairless cat vibe on her right eyebrow. Oh my gosh, those cats weird me out. I know some of y'all probably have them. Oof. They weird me out. Humbled in hot pants. I don't even know what that means. But I thought it was funny, so I played it. Did she just eat a purple popsicle? Her lips are dark. No, that is the Satanism. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea what that was. Hi, Baron. On 9/20, I flew home in North Carolina to Phoenix, Arizona to attend Charlie Kirk's memorial. We stood in line for over 6 hours in blazing hot temps to mourn someone most of us had never even met. Sad part, only dry eye there was Erika's. I had a friend who had tickets to the memorial and plane tickets and a hotel. He bought them almost immediately after it was announced. and then canceled everything a couple of days before because he said, this is not right. Something's weird here. And he's got very good intuition. Very good intuition. And he said, hey, something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. Hey, Baron. Hi, IQ listener here. I would like to suggest that an opening statement on the utilitarian ethic will help connect your other opening statements together. When ends justify the means. I've mentioned Jeremy Bentham on this show and Benthamite utilitarianism. I would love to do one on that. I don't want to say I fell into the utilitarian trap in my early 20s, but I allowed it to entertain me for a few years. She told on herself, Behemoth is the demon of gluttony, hunger, and excess. He's also the brother of Leviathan, the demon of envy. Just wow. And there's nothing humble about that woman. Yeah. I kind of feel the same way, if we're being honest. Wait a minute. What? And we know what that countdown was for on her Instagram and why she wanted her mom to know first. What is this? Hold on. I got to look this up. Countdown on Erika's Instagram? Countdown on Erika Kirk Instagram. Did I miss something? Life, weirdly enough, is a countdown. You don't get forever. My favorite photos lately. Is that what you're talking about? Oh my gosh, I got to show this. This is weird. I have not seen this. This is while Charlie was still alive because he actually responded. I love you. Life, weirdly enough, is a countdown. You don't get forever. My favorite photos lately have been seeing the beginnings of a kiss with my husband. The before, the in between, the after. Everything in these photos are the fleeting fullness we prayed for. So if you need some encouragement, here it is. To the young parent feeling overwhelmed, this season may feel endless, but it is breathtakingly short. To the seasoned parent looking back, the fleetingness of those years does not diminish them. It makes them luminous. It's moments like these that make me want to hold our children tighter in the spaces between kisses. Don't wish away the chaos of now, because one day the house will be still, and the only sound will be the echo of memories long grown. And in that quiet, you'll know the in-between moments of those kisses were the very heartbeat of it all. I love building our life together. What? So now I've got to ask, what was 23 weeks ago? What was 23 weeks ago date? August 21. Well, that's weird. Oh my gosh. Guys, I don't want to be the I don't want to be the one to point it out, but did she just say she was gonna kill her husband? Oh my gosh. That is nuts. That is nuts, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. I'm leaving that pulled up. I got to do a little research on that. Did you not hear the demon voice I pointed out last night? It was right after you paused it on the Queen Bee Candace. I noticed a bunch of people heard it in here just from the comments. I did not. Let me pull it back up. We'll listen to the demonic element together. What was that, around the 5-minute mark? Was that there? It was. Oh, boom. All right. So let's listen, shall we? I'll share it this time. All right. Let's see here. How do I share? Okay. The demons, ladies and gentlemen. I'll even crank the pot up since you guys said you couldn't hear. Make sure the volume's up all the way. There it is.
And we will do our best to continue to make Turning Point USA the behemoth that he wanted it to be.
And the demon named Behemoth right after the... We'll do our best to make it... And the Behemoth... Well, now I can't go to sleep. Got my nightmare fuel for the night. Holy mackerel. I'm here for the live. One thought. Don't forget the widow's mite. Someone's $100 might be another $5. Love what you do, Baron. God bless. I don't forget it. I don't. I have to pick and choose. I've got 385 comments. I cannot possibly put them all up, or we would be here till 4 a.m, and that's not going to suit anybody. Nor is it going to suit the fact that I've had to pee since about the 20-minute mark. If you see me dancing a lot extra tonight, that's the problem. Poorly planned, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make sure I've got this right. So don't be a Joe, for goodness sake. Don't act like a weirdo. Got it? Go Max. Baron. Thank you, Jess. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. I adore you, Baron. You appreciate the grace in which you conduct yourself and composure when unveiling deception. I did not catch of the manipulation. I'm a bit naive. God bless. And Christ is King. Keep going, Max. Christ is King indeed. Shell Bell. I noticed Candace talking on X about the Christ is King haters showing back up a little before Advent, or a little before Lent this year. But we're not going to allow them to deter us here. Candace and Marin back-to-back tonight is must-see TV in 2026, and I'm here for it. Keep doing the Lord's work. I'm doing all I can, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing all I can. A money-grubbing W word is a money-grubbing W word. Wearing a cross around your neck doesn't change that. If money's the root of all evil, then TPUSA is hell. Yeah, that's a good question. Did he have a living will? So a living will would only take care of him until he died, and that's when the living will stops. So a living will is for you if you're incapacitated or something. And the actual last will and testament, that's for what happens if you die. I don't know if he had one or not, and it doesn't necessarily have to be made public. Because, you know, if he just left everything to his wife, I don't know what Arizona rules are, but I'm not even sure you would need to probate that. So that's a good question. She invokes my husband in order to give herself legitimacy, her only claim to fame. Yeah, that seems to be her base qualification for being the head of TPUSA. Is she procreated with the right person? The strangest part is her sending her condolences. It'll be 8 years in June since my husband passed, and I've never uttered that, nor did it ever cross my mind to utter that to someone who knew him. That's a really good point that got past me. Again, you women who are grieving the loss of a husband or child, I think those are probably the two worst things that can happen to you as a human being, losing your spouse or losing a child. Probably not in that order. Probably losing a child and then losing a spouse. I've never experienced either, so I don't have them to compare. But you ladies are not giving her any grace, and I don't blame you. I'm not suggesting you should. I'm saying perhaps your experiences are lending credibility to your critique. The mild annoyance of loud kids on a plane is not the same level of endurance going through the assassination of your spouse. That's so strange. The other thing that's weird about it, and I'm kind of questioning whether Usha actually said that, Usha's never lost a spouse. How would Usha know how to get past it? And I don't mean that lightly. If I'm going through something, so there's empathy, there's sympathy, there's empathy, and there's compassion. And those are not the same. We often conflate the terms, but they're not the same. Sympathy is me feeling bad for somebody that's going through something I can't possibly imagine. In the South, sympathy is often expressed with a gallon of Milo sweet tea and a casserole. I feel bad for you. I don't know what to do. I can't possibly identify with what you're experiencing. Say you lost a spouse. I've never lost a spouse. And so I don't know what to do, but I know that when I'm sad, I don't want to have to cook for my kids and my family and me. And sometimes you'll forget to eat if there's not food around, and you lose weight and then you get sick. And so one way we Southerners take care of other people when they are sad and we can't identify with them, we make them a dish, some kind of chicken pasta dish or some kind of, vegetable casserole, maybe a lasagna dish. And then we grab a gallon of Milo sweet tea because it's the greatest thing ever invented. And we drop it off at their house and we say, I'm sorry you're hurting. Have a lasagna and a gallon of sweet tea on me. I hope it's something that can to provide you some base level of comfort. That's sympathy. Then there's empathy. Empathy is you can identify with me. You've lost a spouse, and then I lose a spouse. And I call you for advice, and I say, I'm lost in the world. I don't even know how to get out of bed. What do I do? This is when you would join a widow's group or a widower's group. This is when you would find somebody at your church group who's undergone a similar grieving experience. That's empathy. And that person can talk you through what worked for them. They can at least identify with you, and you feel like you have some sort of community in the loss. And then there's compassion. We throw the word around compassion. Compassion in its root, passion meaning suffering, and come from the Latin meaning with, suffering with someone. I'm going to get down in the trenches with you. You're homeless. I'm going to go sleep on the streets with you. That's compassion. We often conflate the word compassion with empathy and sympathy. They're not the same. And we conflate empathy and sympathy. They're not the same. The only thing Usha could offer is sympathy. Unless her husband dies, she can't offer compassion because then they would be going through the suffering together. Unless her husband has died, she can't even offer empathy. She's in sweet tea and lasagna realm. It's weird. It was a weird little aside. And then the whole you'll survive if you can make it 15 more minutes. What? That's weird. And then Erika taking that to say, well, if you get sad at work, take 15 minutes. What? I'm telling you, I don't buy these people. Oh, I just already read that one. She was referring to the book of Daniel when she talks about having a sword in one hand and building the other, weaponing scripture to build her cult. Still weird and evil. Oh, that's a good catch. I did not catch that. And I still don't recognize that story off the top of my head. I'll admit ignorance there. So thank you for sharing that. I'll be sure to dive into Daniel and look it up. How did they think this was going to play? Charlie was so special, so unique. Did they really think any of them would be able to replace him? Narcissist, all of them? Yes, good call. Barron, if you think demons can't read minds, see Ian Carroll's telepathy tapes showing people can do without knowledge or consent. Demons can't. I'll check that out. Here's my thought on that, though. I think those demons are reading body language and circumstances, and they're very perceptive. Keep in mind, demons are the world's greatest lawyers. They're the world's most perceptive beings, far more perceptive than humans ever are. They have thousands of years of human observation. They're not bound by time. They're not bound by space. So that's kind of my thought on that, but I will check out Ian Carroll's telepathy tapes. Absolutely. From the Grumblers, the countdown on EK's IG was a video posted September 7th, 2025. Oh, there's another one posted. There were two countdowns? We're going to have to find that one now. September 7th, you say? Oh, I don't know. The problem with Instagram is it's just almost unsearchable. I can't go back and find by date. I'll have to look at that. Thank you for that. I will try to find it. Perhaps I'll bring that up Sunday if I can track it down. Much love from the Grumblers. Thank you, JJHR11. Very generous of you for chiming in. Take my money, sir. Gladly contributing to your daffodil befuddled anonymous meeting. Comedy gold tonight. Oh, Billy laughs. Thank you, Diana Owens. Very kind of you. Oh, this now you're saying is in Nehemiah. I got to read 2 books of the Bible tonight? She quotes this book often. Google gives a better explanation. All right. I'm willing to allow it. Discernment went off the first speech. EK alone and freaked myself out. From Lori to the taxes. I can help if needed. Glad it's all being exposed. Hey, I encourage everybody to do as much research as you can. And then I'll be you can share it with me. You can share it with Candace. You can share it with Ian. You can share it with Coach. You can share it with anybody who's still covering the story. And I think all of us should continue covering the story because I think we're getting somewhere and they're trying to get us to move off of it. I'm not falling into the trap for people getting shot in Minnesota. I'm sorry, just not. It's tragic. It's terrible. It's a confusing situation. But I'm not above thinking it's, there are a lot of things going on right now to try to get people off of this the closer we get to figuring out what happened. So I'm convinced she didn't even like Charlie. I'm starting to feel that way myself, to be honest with you. I guess not everyone gets the mark of their dreams. These videos make me want to stock up on holy water. Thanks, Baron. Love this high IQ operation. Should stock up anyway. We keep it at the house all the time. What's the guidance out of Rome if you spill communion on your shirt? Pre-treat as a wine stain or blood stain? On your shirt, I'm not sure. That's a great question. I know they have the purificators that they use if you spill it on the floor and there's a way to treat it there. I'm not sure about that. My priest probably hates me. I'm the guy who sits 2 rows away and watches every person take communion. Then if they drop a wafer and I see any speck hit the ground, I'm the guy who gets up and gets it. I'm sure everybody's like, all right, sit down, Coleman. No, I will not. Mint green sherbet is looking great with your auburn hair. Take your Adidas to another level with every shade of green you can find. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And only way to the Father, says the Lord. Well, thank you, Ski Florida. I will take your advice. I have 3 different green Adidas hoodies. I have a hunter green, I have this mint green, and I have that olive green. So maybe I'll look and see if they have more. And when my wife asks, why are we buying more hoodies? I'll say, Ski Florida said to. Well, who am I to argue? I can't argue with Ski Hoodie. First time sending super chats tonight. Hubby and I watch every night. God bless you. I hope the truth comes out. Everything done in dark comes out into the light. Well, welcome to the program, Monica Sierra. Good evening to you and your hubby. I hope I'm not background noise. Keep it on the TV. Let's keep it clean till the show's over. Baron, in my heart, I know the reason why this is important to her is because she's a demon. What a better way to harvest more souls than the reach of TPUSA. I think that's why demons like politics so much. They hate humans. They hate them. This is a good question. What if she genuinely is a victim of Mortal Kombat Ultra? If she's not in complete control, would that ease your frustration? Genuinely curious. Love your show. It would. It would. If she's being mind controlled, it would. Sure. How could it not? AKA drab green, the military color. Yes, that's the color of the hoodie. Drab green, not olive green. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to get that wrong. I know you military folks get all bent out of shape when you get your color codes wrong. Thank you. Baron, you are a gem. During the interview with Trigger Smart at 4538, you mentioned you questioned whether Charlie was injected with something and that you saw a hypodermic needle right before he went down. Please elaborate. Brian Harpole had a hypodermic needle in his medical bag. He pulled it out about a minute or so, maybe less. It was when the lady was delivering the mints that started the craze over at Coach Collins' channel. Yes. That's what. Emailed a video of your 6-year-old pug, Charlie, watching you tonight when Erika Kirk was on TV. Let's just say dogs can truly see evil. Ooh, wow. I'll be interested to see that. Erika not wearing makeup is further performance. It's likely easier for her to wear makeup than to look like a disheveled, widowy gremlin. Gremlin. FYI, I passed bar exam in July. Roman Catholic, really inspired by your commentary. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the bar, young whippersnapper. You're going to love it here. I remember the time I passed all three. Actually, I only took 2 bar exams. I had to take one in Alabama when I first started practicing law in 2006. I had to take another one in Florida in 2007 because they don't accept other people's bar exams. You have to take it again there. That sucked. And then in Tennessee, I did not have to take a bar. I just had to do the background check and prove that I practiced law for 20 years. Or it wasn't 20, it was like 15. And then they said, okay, you're welcome. Come on in. Just pay your dues. Not sure how demonic EK is. Only God knows. After viewing that video, I would say that she has never managed people and she never should. Good call, Rita Rushing. Thank you. Very good call. Very good call. And thank you for that very generous donation. At an event, EK cried on stage and stated she was donating her December salary. Can we check immediately to see if it was actually done? If not, then she pulled an Amber Heard and pledged versus donated. I don't think we can check because 501c3s don't have to report their donors. For your hard work, thanks, Brian. Now I'm Brian, or are you Brian? I'm Baron, sir. But thank you for that very generous donation. Look at that picture of the rifle again. It's not weird. It's in a rifle-shaped cardboard box. Yeah, I think we learned that's not the actual rifle. That's what we learned later. That's just a stock picture of a rifle. Baron, check out Smallfoot. It explores curiosity, truth-seeking, courage against the crowd, and even, spoiler redacted. Oh, even the spoiler is redacted. But it's also hilarious and family-friendly. A must-see for conspiracy theorists with children. I'll put it on my list. Smallfoot. Done. Oh, it looks like a cartoon. Thank you. Thank you for that, because I'm always looking for things to watch with the kids. Ask Grok the financial gain that would be gained by Charlie Kirk's death. It's 8 or 9 figures. Motive? Yes, motive. We've covered that. Real Bays. You better be back in the saddle, brother, on the microphone, getting some reps. You got a good future ahead of you. You just got to get some reps in. Told you back in October when I first started watching to use Bayes' theorem in your work. I've been using it with the timeline. We are 99%, more than 99%. There's so many anomalies, motives, and flat-out lies proved with evidence and cross-referencing statements, irrefutable. Do a show on it. I'd love to watch it. Bayes is out there doing shows and starting his broadcasting career, and I've watched, and he's got a lot of talent. Got a lot of talent, and he's going to get better as time goes by. I know it. I can sense it in some people, Bayes. Charlie Kirk knew and said everyone was going to die early. Oh, and thank you, by the way, for that incredibly generous donation. You're always a very generous donor. Charlie Kirk knew and said he was going to die early years ago. He did, and now look. God moves with a purpose. Look at everyone who is around him. Now look at all of what the world is discovering because of it. That's interesting. That's an interesting track of thought, that he knew he was going to die early, so he put evil people around him. Wow. That's wild. Watch Erika Kirk, first speech after Charlie Kirk murder, behind the chair in his studio. Creepy. Yeah, we tried to watch that on was that a member show we tried to watch that on? I know we did it live. I think it was one of the members shows. We pulled it up and started watching it, and all the members were like, no, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Strangest deja vu of my life. Usha, 15 minutes, full glitch. Yeah. Ask Jason about the Las Vegas shooting. He will explain about the propaganda being used on us. I will. If you join, I notice you're not a member. If you join, you'll be able to watch that show tomorrow. FYI, math formula is probably based. It was created by Thomas Bayes to back his belief on the resurrection of Jesus. It's how I found my own faith. I found out about Thomas and its origins after the fact. Oh, the Bayes theorem. It's famous, Bayes. That's why you need to do a show, dude. If you got a hook like that, go with it. Baron, have you heard any info on the whereabouts of Charlie's kids? Any sightings? No one's seen them that I'm aware of. But they were pretty private anyway, to be fair. Who's leaking these calls to Candace? Good way to push Erika out and bring more scrutiny so they can take over. Who's next in line after Erika Kirk? Tyler, Andrew, Mikey? That's a good question. I don't think it's a friendly. I don't think it's somebody on her team. I mean, it's obviously somebody at TPUSA, but I don't think it's one of those people you just mentioned. Oh, yeah, we don't want a Baron 2.0. No, ma'am. My husband and I absolutely love your in-depth, funny, investigative pod. I look forward to every episode. We don't ever want a Baron 2.0. No, we don't want a Baron 2.0. We don't want a Baron 2.0. Your show is the only one I've ever paid a membership for. Love the show. Well, thank you. Very kind, Groovy Baby. Welcome to the members show. Oh, that's tomorrow. Do you take lisinopril? It can give you an ACE inhibitor-induced cough. Love your mint hoodie. No, I don't take lisinopril. I said earlier, I have phenomenal blood pressure. I don't need blood pressure medication. For those that don't know, lisinopril is a common blood pressure medication. Derived from snake venom, of all things. No, I have asthma. I have terrible asthma. And it wrecks me, particularly on days I work out. It's extra bad on days I work out, and I did work out today. So, yeah. That's what happened. Hey, Baron, you responded to a super last night saying it was okay to start an unofficial chat. Mods, Matriarch, Mad World 1984 got one going. We'll post a link in the chat, and don't boot us for AI mods once Sis joins, please. No, I'm not going to boot you guys for AI mods. I might put an AI layer in there just to help you guys. Trigger was talking me through that the other day after his live I did with him, and it looked really cool. And it takes a lot of pressure off you guys by selecting certain behaviors that are automatically timed out or prevented from going up. And so I might add a layer like that at some time. I haven't had time to do it this week, and I've been on the air every day since I did his show with him on Tuesday. So, but no, I'm not going to boot you guys. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. From the Grumblers, Erica's a broom flying bee, and that's a chartreuse hoodie. I don't think it's chartreuse, is it? That's kind of chartreuse. All right, I'll give you a shade. It's mint. It's mint. It's daiquiri ice from 31 Flavors. Excuse me. Oh man, I'm running out of patience with my bladder. All I could see with her hair pulled back was JD's face, which kind of takes that awkward hug to another level. You're not the only one that sees that. Hey, B, your desire for truth is felt through the screen, and that makes me drawn to follow you. Keep the heat coming and put the rest of this BB and exploding mic case to a close. I pray for you and your family. God bless. Well, thank you. Very, very, very kind. Yes, I pulled out an ombre on the hair. I'm hip. Erica, we will be humble in our private plane, and I'm not going anywhere. Sorry, is that a threat? Good call. Good call. I've heard sociopaths make the best CEOs. 4 years sober. Congratulations. It feels good to feel good. Every day's a victory. Keep celebrating them, Logan. Bless your heart. You're obviously a terrific dad. Thank you for continuing the deep search for the true answer with TPUSA. I've lost my husband years ago. I too have lost my husband years ago, and it still hurts. And EK is a woman that has been raised with no feelings. I'm telling you, Sarah, you widows are the hardest on her. And you guys are the ones that give me faith that I'm seeing her correctly. Thank you for that very generous donation. Lab Lover, also a very generous donation. Did anyone ever figure out what Erica's Instagram countdown posts before Charlie died were about? I think she deleted some, but there were several posts counting down to something. Christ is King. I'm going to get to the bottom of that. Let me put that on my notes. I got my pencil. What color is that pencil? Is that magenta? Countdown posts EK Insta. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I got to know. You guys have piqued my interest, and I was not aware. Coming up on 3 hours, so I'm having to skip some, guys. I apologize. Baron, Coach Colin Mint Green. That's correct. That's correct. This is interesting. Virginia Guthrie book talks about J.E. bragging to her about introducing a relevant figure not named to his wife, Erika Kirk. Explain her NYC years. Wouldn't it, though? Man, that is interesting. That's an interesting line of thought. Baron, love the show. I quit smoking after 47 years. I just said no more 7 months ago. Put them down. We'll never go back. No amount of money to do that again. Couldn't agree more. You know, once you put down a bad habit, don't pick it back up. Stu Peters said he confidently said he knows EK and Cabot were at the hotel on 9/8 and JD's show, but didn't reveal a source. I think Stu is talking to Mitch, if I'm not mistaken, and that could be the hook there. Baron, thank you for all you do. You lead with faith, wisdom, and truth, and we're grateful for laughter along the way. Well, Kamalani, thank you very much. Your words are very humbling. Your donation is also humbling. Thank you. The support is absolutely appreciated. Very genuinely appreciated. I still have hope for Andrew Colvette, but I fear they're going to throw him under the bus and blame him for all the TPUSA lies. I don't know that they can throw him under the bus. He knows too much. I think he's stuck there. Thank you for all your great work you've been doing on the Charlie Kirk case. Some of my friends think that shot can't be disproved without an autopsy. I do not agree with them. How would you rebut? That there's no shot from any angle that would stop in his neck. Period. That's how. Find me a gun that'll stop in his neck and create a wound that big on the front. No. Absolutely not. Does she mean 15 minutes of fame? Baron, I just love your much-needed perspective. Gave her a much-needed Catholic daddy smackdown. She needs Jesus in prayer. Christ is King. Go Max. I'm doing my best out here, Rebecca. Thank you for the support along the way. Mom and daughter snowed in North Mississippi. They got a lot of ice up there. Love your channel. First super chat, writing from mom because D can't figure out super chats. Hi, D. You'll get there. You'll get there. I promise you'll get there. Why are Charlie's parents being so silent? And where's Mikey McCoy been lately? Both great questions. I think his parents were just naturally silent people. Mikey McCoy is not. Old Smiley Mikey is MIA, and I'm very curious why. My wife, Katie's birthday is February 18th, and our anniversary is February 28th, and she loves you. Please wish her a happy birthday. Well, you're not going to be around. I'm going to have many more shows before February 18th. But happy birthday anyway, Katie Smith. And happy birthday to you whenever yours is, sir. All right. I think we're getting towards the end. It's been 0 days since we watched Baron watch a video without us. It's all good. It's going to be fine. It's a high IQ outfit. Yes. I'm trying. I've done a few shows in a row without doing it. And then tonight happened. Last night's opening was absolute gold. Worked in tech and reminded me it's easy to lose sight of the problem you're solving and end up with a bloated product riddled with bugs. Glad I could help. Appears the grieving is like the Doge effort. It ain't going to happen. Guys, you guys are funny. Where is it that EK says she saw Charlie Kirk unalived? Last I remember was some interview with her saying she had not and never intended to watch it. Could you direct me to where she said that, please? You love you, Baron. Keeping truth. And I think she said we all saw it, or we saw it live, or everyone saw it. I just assumed she saw it. I'm open to correction on that. Jesus wins. So thank you. If I was speaking out of turn there. Are you familiar with Dietrich Bonhoeffer's thoughts on stupidity? Thinking of poor Joe? No, I'm not familiar with him. I did read his book. Was it called Cheap Grace? Or his concept of cheap grace? I can't remember the name of that book. Baron, did you see Candace yesterday that Charlie had a Catholic funeral mass at St. Bernadette's? I did. I'm aware of somebody who is confident that happened. I talked to someone else who's confident that happened. Baron, first super chat. Erika uses the same phrase about slumber party with her best friend in the Amazing Race video and in the Heaven Crowded speech. I was sadly not surprised. Well, it might be because that has just surfaced. It's all fresh on her mind. I'm a new member tonight. Been watching you since November. Last night, best opening I heard. Last night, you made me laugh so hard. And tonight, you read the Instagram post. It shook me head to toe. I shuddered and you were stunned. Mind blown. My mind was blown as well. I'm going to dig into these countdown posts because that's creepy. Who is their pronoun? God. They took the Queen Mother out of the equation and Jesus became our boyfriend. Jesus is God and King of all. Thank you. Jesus has you to convict me to get back to Mass and quit drinking. Thank you, Go Max. Hey, both great options, and I encourage you strongly to pursue both. If you have trouble, just remember, we're a community. You can come here and talk to us about it, and you can get some help. A lot of other people in your position that have put the bottle down for good. So I wish you the best, and I'll pray for you. My wife, Katie, and I love your show. Look for emails seeking the truth and continue working to find the truth because the only thing necessary for triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. That's a good point. It's a good point. That's the way they are. I think CK was started suspecting Erika Kirk. I agree. You and I are one on that. I think he understood what was happening. Then I think he became sure that the meeting in the Hamptons, Erika Kirk was there with Charlie Kirk at that meeting. Makes you wonder what she said to Charlie when he told Netanyahu no. I can imagine what she told him. Guys, thank you for joining me. I have to go. It's right at 3 hours, and I have had to go to the bathroom for so long. If you see me dancing in this chair, that is me trying to tell you guys, trying to avoid telling you that I need to take a break. If you're a member tomorrow, either 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock Central Time, in all likelihood, it'll be 2 o'clock. Jason Goodman will be with us to talk about all things. He's a fun guy. I followed him over the years. I really like his stuff. And we'll have a good conversation. If not, I will see you guys Sunday night for the big Sunday night show. Like, subscribe, notify, share with your friends. As this channel grows, YouTube pushes it out to more and more people. If the channel doesn't grow, they start pulling the reins back a little bit, making it harder to find. So if you want the community to continue to stay strong, those are easy, free ways to do it. Like, subscribe, share, click notifications. In the meantime, You know what's coming. Jesus loves you.